What is going on, everybody? What is going on? We are officially live for episode 9, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 9 of the Spotlight Sports Talk podcast. I am your host. I'm trying to get myself together. I've been sleeping all day, so I'm trying to get myself together. But we're here, we're live, and we're back with some more sports news, ladies and gentlemen. And I have my two colleagues. We won't have Key in the building tonight, but we will have my other two colleagues. And I think it's to my right. I think to my right. I
Yes,
was
to
like that
your
in
right.
football too. I was like that in football. I never could get my left or my right correctly when it came to football. But shout out to Jake from Snake Sports Talk Show. What's going on, brother?
Going good, man. Going good. Like I said, just kind of living life hour by hour.
All right, Ghoulie, or do you want me to switch it over, Ghoulie?
Yeah, switch it over.
And remove your. This is weird.
Yeah, yeah,
It is
give me a
very
second.
weird.
Very boxing me. All right.
Jesus Christ, I never thought I would get out of that.
And we have now, since you're down at the bottom, Jake.
Oh, crap.
Now
Wait
it's
a
to
minute.
my right. Now it's to my right from the Ghoulie Zone podcast. Butler Bulldogs own. Mount Ghoulie, what's going on?
What's up, y'all? What is up? I'm back. I had to fly like a bat out of hell just to get here. Just getting off work.
Okay. So I know this is going to be an interesting show, knowing that Jake do want to talk about basketball. I really didn't want to talk about basketball because not really too much to talk about, but we're here. We're going to talk about it. But I do want to get into a few topics that I have according to the NFL. Now, some breaking news. I don't know if y'all saw it yet, but the NFL is aiming to virtually involve prospects in the 2020 draft. Now, what it's saying is that the 2020 draft, even though it will still go on, it will still be taking place in a different format due to the social distancing among the important measures that everyone could take, spreading this dumbass coronavirus, in my personal opinion. But the league can't hold the draft as a traditional public gathering this year, so the NFL will be reaching out to the top prospects this week to participate in the draft to the 23rd to the 25th. And this is according to Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network. So players won't be, going across the stage and cheering with the cheering fans and wearing the jerseys and stuff like that. So technically, everything is going to be virtual for the top prospects. How do y'all feel about that news coming out with this going on?
It's interesting.
I'll start first. I mean, because I will say this. Being a long time Vegas native and waiting for an opportunity to kind of see the NFL in just badass show, absolutely. But unfortunately now Vegas is not going to end up getting that, which we all totally understand as well. I like the idea that they're doing that in a building and at least keeping social distancing here for the players, the staffs, and for, of course, the respected NFL teams. But I'm all on board for it. I like it. I think it keeps all the players' safety. And, like most things, the show must go on.
Yeah, the show must go on. It's interesting. It's just interesting to me. Social distancing. Yeah, I do agree with that. Also trying to keep the prospects healthy, the owners healthy, all the people that's making those decisions up there healthy. Either way, it's a good decision. It also protects not only just the prospects, but everybody in general. And having it in the building, that's pretty. It's just interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's very interesting because you have to look at it from back in the day. If you watch the drafts back in the day, where it wasn't a building and it was just the media, it was just the teams, and all the players didn't walk across that stage back in the day when that draft. If you look at the draft when John Elway and the Dan Marinos and you just see the commissioner and all the teams are in it, but nobody else is in it either. It's not none of the players. So they definitely expanded from where it was at. But being virtual now, it just have to happen that way. But my question is, like, now you got to give every prospect at least 32 teams hats, just because what team they're going to pick. Because now you just don't know what team is going to pick them, and they can't like pick that. Like they're not going to be able to be given the freaking hat that they had to go across the stage. So now you got to give all these prospects at least 32 teams the hats. So say if I'm a prospect and you're a prospect, Jake, I'll have to go and get all NFL has to send me all 32 teams hats. That's crazy to me. But at the same time, the NFL has the money, so they have the money. So I don't think that's the crazy part.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure, like, I think what's kind of hard about that too is like, because you are dealing with shipping companies that have to get the hats distributed and everything else, but because they have to work with the partnerships of all of the merchandise shops just to at least get the hats all in place, all boxed in, and then be able to ship them out to, I would say, all to the respected prospects. I mean, that's going to be a difficult challenge, but I'm sure that that's a challenge that I don't think the NFL is afraid to take, but we'll see how it works out.
Gulli, I know you wouldn't mind having all 32 teams hats in your house, right? Besides the Packers.
I wouldn't. Actually, 31.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Besides,
31.
I said besides the Packers.
Yeah, there you go. And you might as well put the freaking you might as well put out Detroit and Minnesota too. So yeah.
Oh Lord.
Come on,
Jesus.
division rival.
I wouldn't mind. Listen, if the NFL is sending me a bunch of free hats that I don't have to come out of my pocket for, I don't care what division it is.
All I'll say is this: I bring the Packers. I will give it to a homeless man. I will give it to a homeless man for him to
You're
wear.
so full of it, Gulli. I swear
I'm
you
not
are.
full of it. Hey, it's the thought that counts.
Oh, it's the thought that counts for the yellow and green, huh?
Yes.
I mean, I will tell you this: like, if they like in a promotion or something like that, like if they're trying to give me, let's say if I was doing more for like NBA, like what I currently do now, if they were to give me like one of those free player shirts, I'd be all on board on it. But just can't do it with NFL, baseball, and hockey. I mean, I got to rep my colors.
Oh, I would do it with wrestling. That's for sure. All the T-shirts in the world.
Oh yeah, you would do it with wrestling. You will do it. With, only you, Gulli. God damn it, man.
Yeah, only me. Because,
right,
brother, we don't talk about something that kind of upset me with you during the week. Kind of upset me.
Why? What did I do?
That top 5. Who posted that top 5?
Oh, what, the top 5 quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get it. We gonna get into that. We gonna definitely if we gonna have it. You about to be Max. I'm about to make you Max Kellerman of this joint. Watch what I tell you.
No. Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith are going in this trash can because they disrespected 2 people to me that should have been in that top 5.
Oh my God. But shout out to Sebi Podcast. Shout out to Key in the building. Shout out to Landon. Shout out to JD Rants, Cushy Raw, and Jonell. What's going on, Jonell? What's going on, everybody that's in the chat so far? But let's get into the next topic that I have. I have it written on my computer notes. So Sean Payton says that Taysom Hill will be the Saints' number 2 QB. But Taysom Hill believes that he can be a franchise quarterback. Now, with Drew Brees returning to the Saints, it's very well least that Hill is not going to be like he's going to be a franchise signal caller probably later on in the future. But right now, he's going to be a second string to Drew Brees. We all know this by now. But in an interview that Taysom Hill had with WWL Radio, not Taysom Hill, actually Sean Payton. Sean Payton says that Hill will go into the 2020 season as the team's backup quarterback. He earned that opportunity, Sean Payton said, according to the Athletic reporter Jeff Duncan. And Payton added that he was clear on Tuesday after being diagnosed of the coronavirus last week that he's feeling a lot better and the dynamic Taysom Hill does do different various of things on offense that makes him on the field if he's not a starter at quarterback. So how do y'all feel about that, knowing that Teddy Bridgewater was the number 2 last year? He ended up leaving to go to Carolina. So how do y'all feel about what Peyton said? Like knowing him that he's going to be this, he's going to be the second, he's going to be a number 2 quarterback to Drew Brees.
I think Hill would, Hill being the number 2 is not a bad thing. But let's be real. What was the contract with Drew Brees is 2 years, and I believe he only has 2 years left in his career. So you know what, being a backup, I believe down the future he could be a franchise quarterback. It seems like he can do more than throw the ball. I mean, we've seen it in the playoffs where he could actually catch the ball as a wide receiver. I think in the words of Kenny the Jet Smith, that man is an athlete. And do it all. Shoot.
Absolutely. And it's just, I think that this is the safest move for the New Orleans Saints and even for Taysom Hill. I mean, I understand the frustration for Hill on his side because of the fact of he wants to showcase his talents in a specific position like quarterback. But the thing of it is, I will have to say this. I mean, Taysom Hill is a once in a generational type athlete. Like when do you ever see an athlete who can throw, catch, run, and let alone tackle on special teams? I mean, that is a generational player we will remember for a long, long time. But we have not seen so much of what he brings to the table as a backup quarterback as much because he's been played all around Sean Payton's type of play style. So, I mean, if Sean Payton decides to put him in backup quarterback situations where he just throws, then maybe we may have a different topic to talk about with that. But for right now, I think it's like a safe insurance for him, the Saints, and even for Drew Brees. But we'll see how it pans out comes next season. I just think right now we haven't seen enough of him play quarterback just to make that kind of perspective.
Yeah, and I absolutely have to agree with you there. I have to agree with you just because of – just give me 1 second. Okay, so yeah, I have to agree with you there. Taysom Hill could do it all, but at the same time, I think he really just wants to play quarterback. But you're not going to see a special player like him, like that could do multiple positions, even though they don't play multiple positions. But anything for him to get on the field, I think Taysom Hill just needs to take it as, yes, you're going to be a franchise quarterback, but just not right now, knowing that Drew Brees did re-sign for 2 more years to stay with the Saints. So it's coming.
You're learning from one of the best right now, the best in football. I mean, not the best of all time. So don't want anybody in the chat saying, wait a minute, Tom Brady. No. You're learning from probably one of the men who knows how to sling that ball and how to make some good plays. So, yeah, let's say down the road, what if Drew Brees does hang it up? This would be his final year. Now, if you're the Saints, yeah, you're gonna have to give Hill. Hill is gonna be your bread and butter. But speaking of which, Hill's contract, like, how many years is it? Is he got like what is this? His 3rd year of his contract?
Who? Taysom Hill?
Yeah, with the Saints.
I don't really know the contract details of that, but I know he was a rookie. Like what? Not last year, but the year before. Yeah, about the year before. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we definitely going to go into some free agency as well. But just to let y'all know, please go subscribe to the Snake Sports Talk Show. And please go subscribe to Mal Gooley on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. So, free agency fits for Cam Newton, Javion Clowney, and more. Now, I'm only going to say the few. I'm not going to say everybody. And y'all let me know if y'all consider this a good fit. I'm going to say the popular names that's been out there. So, of course, Cam Newton. According to NFL Network, they're saying that the New England Patriots are the best fit for Cam Newton. Just wait for the answers. I'm just gonna go through them real quick. They say Javion Clowney is a good edge rusher for the New York Jets. That's the team fit. Jameis Winston is the team fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Um, Let me see. I'm gonna just do a few more here. Everson Griffin is a team fit for the Cleveland Browns. Logan Ryan, a team fit for the Minnesota Vikings, and Demarius Randall, the safety, he's a team fit for the Washington Redskins. I don't know why they got Jason Peters on this list. I don't understand. His fat ass just need to retire. That's just my thing. But they say the team fit is the Cleveland Browns. So get Jason Peters the hell out of here. That old fart can't move to save his life. But how do y'all feel about those names and those teams fit? Because to me, all of those team fits. The only one that fits that I can see making sense is Jameis Winston in Pittsburgh. That's just me. Knowing that Ben Roethlisberger is on his last leg, they don't have a great backup, and Cam Newton's a good fit, but his mentality is run first. So I don't think that wouldn't work in New England. But how y'all think about it?
With Jameis Winston, going to Pittsburgh, I do see that happening. But with Jameis, though, I will say this, because the Steelers, let's be real, Steelers do have a good offensive line. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They've had the good offensive line for years to help, to help Big Ben. There's barely times that Big Ben has been sacked. But as for Big Ben, yes, Big Ben is on his, actually, I don't even know if final leg is the word. I think he's on his final toothpick.
Oh,
But,
damn.
Big Ben is, he's not the same, especially coming off from an injury. Personally, to me, I think he should have retired. And probably like 3 years down the road, he could have worn a yellow jacket, but that's just me. But Big Ben, if Big Ben believes that he can still do it, first things first, stop passing the ball. Just run it. Just have, you got a running back. Run. You have Connor. Connor! No, you're not going to run with Connor. It's just got to be throw. You see what I'm getting at? Jameis Winston, on the other hand, throw, maybe interception here and there, but at least he knows when to stop throwing.
Ken the Builder said Pittsburgh needs a backup. No, they don't need a backup. They need a starter right now because you just
They
don't
need
know
a
what
starter,
you're
and
going.
yeah,
And I feel like
does.
I think Jameis Winston could come in and be a starter in Pittsburgh. I really think so.
Mm-hmm.
Mason Rudolph does suck. He does suck.
He stinks.
Yeah,
He
I
sucks
mean,
something
I think that the fit for Jameis Winston's very interesting for Pittsburgh because honestly, like the way that you look at Pittsburgh as a whole, everybody thought Pittsburgh was absolutely just going to go down on the ground. I will tell you this: when I made a prediction of the AFC North just the past year, one of my buddies told me that like the Cleveland Browns would win like 11, if not 12 games. I told you, whoa. Like, pump the brakes a little bit. We're getting a little overexcited. Because I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to have gone like 10-6 because of the fact of losing Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. It would have changed the culture for Pittsburgh. But I do say this. I give props to Mike Tomlin. Those two left. Tomlin got full control of the team. And Tomlin has not been below 500 since he coached there. And Malguli makes a great point. They have a really good offensive line that is healthy. The problem with Pittsburgh's offense is that they do not have a legitimate number one. I love Juju Smith-Schuster, but his play style and his route running is not fit for a star number one wide receiver. So
he's a number 2, number 3 option.
Absolutely. And I think that Jameis Winston coming into Pittsburgh and possibly taking a starting role, because Jameis we know can throw. And he can throw downfield for more of over-the-top passes, which is exactly what I think Pittsburgh needs. Now, Tomlin, of course, is a very player-friendly coach. So I'm sure that having Jameis in there could help to adjust his play style and maybe more of his judgment calls as a quarterback and start to now shift into where he can make those throws and maybe be able to cut the INTs that he threw last year. Because I have Pittsburgh going into the playoffs next season. I really do. That defense still is one of the best in the NFL.
And you gotta think about it. You gotta think about it too. Now we have that 14 player playoff this coming up year. Is crazy. It's pretty crazy to look at it. At Pittsburgh, it's a possibility that two teams from the AFC North can make it, and that's the Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I think the Ravens are going to go back and probably win the division. I don't think Pittsburgh is ready to win the division. Shout out to Keith saying Ravens, baby. Screw the Ravens. I'm so happy they lost to the playoffs last year. And I picked Tennessee. And I don't know if – and I'm going to just tell y'all, who is Texas Spotlight Sports Talk?
That's me, bro.
I'm lost. I'm sitting here like, what is going on? I'm sitting here scared as ever, man. Like, what is going on? But quick story. Like, when I was in the hospital and we was watching the games, and I tried to tell Keith that the Tennessee Titans is going to go into Baltimore and beat them. And we had like a whole full argument. I don't know if you was on the phone with us at that time, Malguli, but
I was.
It was a
hilarious.
whole argument. I was sitting there out of my hospital bed, letting them know that the Tennessee Titans was going to beat the Ravens convincingly, and that's what they did. That's exactly what they did. And we didn't hear from Keith in like a month. We didn't hear from. Did Keith
really, Keith? You just delete your comment, Keith?
I think he did. Yeah, I think he deleted his. Still up here. Oh, okay. What's going on, Damian Estrada? Water King. What's going on, Water King? Who else is in here?
JD, bro.
JD and Water King. What's going on? Johnny Santana. What's going on? But at the end of the day, I just feel like, Jameis Winston.
The problem with the Ravens, I do agree with D, but at the same time, here's how I feel. Who really cost the Ravens? People were all on Lamar Jackson. It's not all on Lamar. Here's the big thing, though. Who the hell was Lamar throwing it to?
That's what I've been saying the whole damn year. They said, "Oh, Hollywood Brown." Hollywood Brown is not a number one receiver in this league, yo. He's not a number one receiver.
And also the thing about the Ravens too, and they should have adjusted in free agency. This is why I'm kind of shocked we didn't say anything about it. They need a wide receiver. They need wide receivers, legit wide receivers. And if you're going to wait on the draft, you better make some moves now because, this is a big, to my knowledge, a big wide receiver draft pool as far as my knowledge goes.
But according to my mock draft, they were saying that the Ravens do need a safety as well.
No.
Lamar threw the most. Don't get me wrong. Lamar threw the most passing yards in the NFL. He became the MVP, but did not win a Super Bowl. So how does that really count? Mind you, the Ravens was 14-2. Lamar Jackson won MVP, and he had the most NFL passing touchdowns, but still didn't make it out of the divisional round for the second year in the row.
But this is where I think you got to kind of look at it from this perspective, because as you said, how exactly did the Ravens get to 14-2? I mean, you have to think I think part of it too, Baltimore for years has always built on defense. Ray Lewis was the first, okay? And so then everybody else started to expand. So the defense has always been known to be legit. The thing with the Ravens was they were always kind of a run first, then pass type offense. And I thought, okay, that's nice, that's great, but how long of that will last? Because you have to think about it. They played with a 2 tight end set with Hayden Hurst and Mark Andrews,
Hayden Hurst is not there anymore. He's gone.
Yeah, and that's the thing of it. They served as either extra wide receivers or they served as extra linemen. So they were going to push through that defensive front line for either Lamar Jackson or for Mark Ingram to run. So, I just think that really, they haven't found a number one wide receiver probably since Steve Smith and maybe Anquan Bolden. Those are the only 2 wide receivers that was legit in Baltimore. But since then, if you're telling me that Hollywood Brown would be the number one wide receiver, you're out of your gourd. I think that I was surprised they didn't go and get Rashad Perriman.
They didn't want to bring him back. You know, the Ravens drafted Breshad Perriman. Mm-hmm. The Ravens drafted him, but the Ravens didn't want to bring him back. So even with the Buccaneers didn't want to bring him back either. And I think he had a proving year because, you know, Perriman was known for drops in Cleveland and in Baltimore. But he proved himself with a Jameis Winston that led the league in interceptions, but still had a best year of his career with Jameis Winston as a quarterback. So with the Ravens, what they need, how can I say it? They don't need linebackers. They don't need a defensive line, but they don't need safeties. They safeties are a bit suspect. They are a bit suspect, but
there is a sexy name in free agency that Baltimore can get as a safety, but
yeah, but you gotta think about the cap space of what the Ravens have too, because Ravens really don't have any cap space, and you know they I don't know why they went out and got Michael Brockers because I know their defensive interior line was already good, but they went out and got Michael Brockers, and we don't know if he's going to even be there because he has to pass the physical, and this coronavirus, they're not letting nobody do anything. So he don't even know if he can actually be a Raven due to the fact that he probably won't be able to sign that contract.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough issue, not only just for the Ravens, but for all the NFL teams out there. Now, of course, like the people had been talking about too, like how the draft is going to be, how they're going to end up dealing with all that, but the most important thing, you're cutting out OTAs. That's hard for teams now to get to know their new players. But on the Ravens situation, I don't think that the secondaries, truthfully, because it's like Marcus Peters, a couple of their good secondaries and corners, I find it really hard to believe.
My thing is this though, Marcus Peters came over late, so a lot of people really couldn't prepare for Marcus Peters in a half a season. Mm-hmm. Now you have a full season with Marcus Peters with that defense. Let's see what Marcus Peters can really do. Because look what happened when he was with Kansas City. He was great in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. Got transferred to LA. He was garbage in LA. Hot garbage in LA. Mm-hmm. Then he goes to half a year with the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, he put up solid numbers. But when you completely do a full 17-game season against a Marcus Peters, against some good number ones that he really didn't go up against in the second half of the year, let's see what he really can do.
Right, and I'm waiting to see that as well. And I'm sure some of it too has to deal with the defensive schemes, because I mean you come off of a Kansas City defense where even if he's gone, Kansas City, for whatever reason, I thought they were going to be like Oklahoma, where they've got all the offense, but the defense was not great. But then defense got better. Going into LA system
like 2 years ago, like the worst defense in the league.
Yeah,
I don't know, what was it this year? Like what? Maybe I know they were still in the 20s, somewhere in the 20s, or in the teens, maybe.
Yeah, they got better, but even for Marcus Peters to go into a defensive set with Wade Phillips in L.A., I mean, he had his particular sets with him and Aqib Talib and Sam Shields, so many other secondaries out there that eventually I'm sure kind of had to play a role of the balance with the secondary. So going into Baltimore system, it was much better.
So Keith says he picked off Russell Wilson in the first game. The question is, who was the wide receivers outside of DK Metcalf, which he wasn't defending DK Metcalf. Who else is over there in Seattle as a wide receiver?
That's where we had
Tyler Lockett. Okay, Tyler Lockett, but he's like 5'8". He's like 5'8".
Another thing I want to also say about the Ravens real quick. The Ravens also, yes, have been known on defense, but at the same time, when they had Joe Flacco had a fetish for tight ends.
That's the Ravens' problem. They always address the tight end position and never go get receivers. That's the problem.
And that's why, I mean, and just like I said, it's not for all these people that say, "Oh, Lamar Jackson choked." No, when you don't give Lamar Jackson's receivers, when he has to throw it to tight ends, when he has to just basically be Michael Vick and run. And I'm sorry, when your quarterback, yes, Mike, he broke the record. Yes. But when who do they have? They have a good running back. What's the name, gentlemen? Can somebody
Mark
tell me?
Ingram?
Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram. Yeah. When your quarterback has more rushing yards than a man who can dang near run through the field, that's a problem. That's a legit problem.
When
Lamar Jackson runs, you don't know what's going to happen. And I'm sorry, you know what? And someone said Patrick Mahomes. JD, here's the thing. Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson are cheat codes in this league because they can make some crazy-ass passes. Yes, and they can also make them wildest plays that you can see on a freaking Madden game.
But the difference between Mahomes and Lamar Jackson can't extend plays with his arm. He only can extend plays with his feet. But Patrick Mahomes, he could extend plays with his feet while throwing the football. And that's what Lamar Jackson has to learn. Now, my thing with that, you said that he didn't have no receivers, he didn't have no tight ends. But how can you really make that an excuse when they went 14-2 and they had the best record in the NFL? So how can you really make that an excuse knowing that the Tennessee Titans was a wild card and they came into your building and still beat you?
Basically beat you.
In your building where you, I don't think they lost the game in Baltimore this past year.
Well, I'll tell you this, because when I watched that game specifically, the Titans reminded me so much of what the Chargers did to the Ravens. Because even though that the Chargers, they had about 1 or 2 weeks to learn about Baltimore and then they eventually beat them, they did one thing that that the Chargers also did as well. They forced Lamar to throw. Forced him to throw. Because we already know he can run with his legs. So if he's got no number one wide receiver that he can throw to that'll get him out of certain situations, then there's the problem. There's the absolute issue, because he's going to go and throw short plays to either a tight end, or he may throw a screen pass to a running back, or even just run it himself. But if he can't throw, like we've seen quarterbacks do for, I don't know, decades, if you can't even throw a ball and get yourselves downfield, that's where defenses are going to take advantage of that. And I think that that's what Lamar had to learn at this point. And I'm sure he's going to learn that coming this next season.
I don't think
Raiders, they'll be back.
Fierce Raiders, I don't think that we're reaching. We're not reaching because we're not saying it's all Lamar's fault. But if your defense is on the field more than your offense, then that's a problem. That means that your offense is not moving the football, because you have to think of it as 3 phases to a game. You still have your defense, but if your defense is on the field more than you have a time of possession on offense, then you're going to lose the football game. That's just simple football for y'all. For some people that don't know that I coach football, if my defense is out there 30 more minutes than my offense, then it's a problem. That means the offense is dominating the defense, and that's what the Tennessee Titans did with Derrick Henry. They ran it down the Baltimore Ravens' throat, where nobody thought that nobody could run with the Baltimore Ravens. Nobody could run through the Baltimore Ravens, and y'all made Ryan Tannehill look like a goddamn Brett Favre out there. It's not just Lamar Jackson's fault. It was a whole team effort. At the end of the day, we have to say this. The Baltimore Ravens were not 14-2. They wasn't a 14-2 type of team. Once they got into the playoffs, that 14-2 didn't mean a goddamn thing. It don't mean nothing. It goes to 0-0. At the end of the day, the Tennessee Titans beat y'all in time of possession, and that's why the Ravens was beating every team in the regular season was time of possession, because y'all was running the ball with Jackson and Mark Ingram. Now, on the flip side, Tennessee was doing the same thing that y'all was doing where y'all was beating everybody in the regular season. They flipped it on y'all and beat y'all the way y'all was beating everybody else. Simple as that.
And also, yeah, you can make that argument. You can make the argument with saying, no, Harbaugh should have calmed them down. But at the same time, you could put Harbaugh on this thing to blame too. To be honest, let's be real. Everybody was to blame on
Yeah,
that game.
everybody was to blame, but look at it. As a coach, you can only do as much as a coach. All you can do is get these players prepared. You could give them the schemes. You could give them what they need to do, but those players get paid to execute.
Yes.
Period. They get paid to execute. There's no way in hell you can blame the coach. Don't get me wrong, but the coaches put you in position to execute. The coaches can't block. The coaches can't throw. The coaches can't catch. They on the sideline, they give you the play, they give you that to execute to get you a first down and get you a touchdown. Yes, you can blame the coach in certain situations as far as like time management, or you could give them a certain play. But if your quarterback is that good and he don't like the play that you call for him, that's where audibles come into play. That's when you have a different package. Oh, if you don't like this play, Lamar Jackson, this is your team at the end of the day. Make that adjustment. Mm-hmm. It's simple. It's simple, y'all. It's simple. It's simple. It's simple. It's nothing else that you can really do about the Ravens. That's not just for the Ravens. That's for any team in the NFL. If we want to go into my Raiders, we can go into my Raiders real quick. It's been times that Derek Carr should have went out of a John Gruden's play that was called that he should have made an adjustment to. Mm-hmm. It's plenty of plays that, especially when we lost to Denver in the last home game, it was a lot of questionable calls that John Gruden had. But Can you blame John Gruden or Derek Carr? Because John Gruden's only on the sideline. He can't do everything else. He's only on the sideline.
And I make this perfect example is because you're absolutely right. Like when it comes to certain coaching and play styles, because yes, that is where the collaboration between the quarterback and the coach meet together. Because that's where, when you're in OTAs and when you're in practice, all you're doing daily is studying the playbook. And you guys are both getting up on the same page of what the coach is trying to execute. Mm-hmm. But think of it this way, because even like for me, when 2 years ago, when the Chargers, after beating Baltimore, go into New England, they played the same defensive style as they played Baltimore. And I said, no, Gus, hold on a second. You do know you're dealing with Brady. Okay, Brady can throw. Brady, what they need to do, they need to cover all of the receivers, and I mean all of them. Gronkowski, Julian Edelman, anybody that can get open for Tom to throw. So if you do that, let Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram deal with Brady. But then the secondaries have to deal with the wide receivers. So when Brady throws, force him to make a mistake. So when the ball's in the air, one of those defensive secondaries is going to go and pick it off. Mm-hmm. That's what the Chargers should have done. Not play on a particular speed defense, which is also why the score was exactly as it showed. And that was the kind of thing that pissed me off 2 years ago.
They say that we have a mad. They say that we have a mad echo. I don't know why we have a mad echo, but I'm gonna try to put my headphones on.
Well, I'll give you a good example. When the Bears took on the Eagles, shoot, the problem that I had with Matt Nagy, and it definitely showed all last year. The Eagles defense could not stop the run worth shit. Okay, so what do? You just run it. You still keep passing, making passes with Richard Trubisky. Need I remind you that we have Taylor Gabriel and once upon a time Jordan Howard. This is an Eagles team that was not good at all stopping the run. Taylor Gabriel should have had a 100 or better yet 200-yard rushing game. But of course, things happen and Cody Parkey happened. And Cody Parkey.
I was almost just about to say that MVP goes to Cody Parkey.
Nope, MVP goes to the Windy City. We do not.
Cody Actually, Parkey, no.
Cody Parkey is probably the most hated man in Chicago than the guy who thought it was a foul ball for the Cubs. I don't know. Who's the most hated? Cody Parkey or that dude? Actually, no. The Cubs won a World Series, so all is forgiven with that.
I mean, Reggie. I mean, you have to think about it. Many moments. Reggie Miller to Spike Lee, or the Cubs outfielder. Like that guy out there in the outfield, or Cody Park. Again, actually, real MVP should be the goalpost.
God, double doink, man. I cried, but my God, but still, it's the coaching. But at the same time, yeah, Trubisky could have called audible, say, hey Howard, you can beast through people, right? We need a first down, so can you beast right through them? Oh snap! There's like an empty way of getting over there to the field. Hey Taylor Gabriel, you're the human. You are the human joystick. And yes, the man called him the human joystick. Cubs dude, he changed his name, I think. He changed his. Oh, what Cubs dude? Yeah, Gridiron Blitz said the Cubs dude the most hated. But to be honest, the Cubs won a World Series, so I think and I think that's forgiven. But I think Cody Parkey or Gar Pax and Gar Pax are probably the most hated people in Chicago.
Well, here's what's a funny part. Keith brings up this point. The reason the Chargers beat the Ravens 2 years ago, the Ravens beat them 2 weeks ago before that. The Ravens never changed their game. Chargers did.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for bringing up the 2 weeks before that, because I remember being in attendance, watching that game happen and unfold, and that was my first ever game. And yeah, that was actually a terrible weekend. I lost my fantasy football. I lost the Golden Knights lost twice in overtime, and that was a terrible week. But anyway, yeah, you're absolutely right. The Ravens were trying to go with the play style that they thought executes, and the Chargers absolutely changed their game. That again, Gus Bradley saw exactly how Lamar Jackson functions. He functions more with his feet than he does of throwing. Now, I will say it got scary close to the end because Lamar Jackson was making the plays and making the passes needed to get the Ravens back in the game. So yeah, that there kind of scared me a little bit. But yes, absolutely. That's why pretty much they brought in their linebacking core into the defensive front line, and then they bring in a safety as well as an extra mic just to get to Lamar Jackson because they know he can run. They try to eliminate the run. They try to force more pressure in that pocket and force them to make a play. But that's why the Chargers executed the way they did.
Yes.
For some reason, it's saying an echo. I think it's on my end. For some reason, I don't know why it is an echo, because when I went out and I listened to it, the echo was gone. So I really don't know what the issue is. So I'm going to try to see if I can keep myself on mute. But I do want to get into something else real quick. So that's why I got the headphones on, because I'm listening to the feedback on YouTube. But I do want to get into Von Bell. And I have to say, it's not. It is on my end. It is on my end because only reason why I say it's on my end because when I logged off and I checked the feed, they said there's no echo. A few people say it's not an echo. Some few people saying it is. I don't know why. Let me see if I can hear it again.
According to everybody, it says there's no echo.
Well, there's that one. I'm okay over here now.
I mean, I think it's coming from you, Ghoulie. I'm not too sure.
Probably because the speaker's close to the microphone, so I'm gonna move that. Anything now? Yeah, I heard it. I heard the echo now. That's probably from my mic.
But it's fine. I'm not really worried about it. They saying there's no echo, but Von Bell signs a 3-year deal with the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I have to say, I got to give the Cincinnati Bengals some props. Gridiron Blitz says, some people say it's an echo, some people saying it's not. So, I don't know if it's from you, Ghoulie. I don't know who's coming from. Because it's not coming from, because I'm listening to myself and I'm pretty fine on my end. So, Von Bell got a 3-year deal with the Bengals. And I got to give the Bengals props, knowing that the Bengals is having a kind of quiet offseason, but at the same time, they're picking up some elite players. Not true. Von Bell was one of the elite safeties for the New Orleans Saints. And then DJ Reader from
Houston.
the Texans. That's another great pickup for the Cincinnati Bengals, and it's
He's
been
trying to
coming out
save his career because
right.
Houston's stuck now.
Right, and I say that they say Andy Dalton is not a free agent, y'all. I thought he was, but he's not a free agent. So what happens is that now the Bengals is thinking about keeping Andy Dalton in this season if they don't have anything to offer. But they saying all offers is not off according to Ian Rappaport. So even if they do get Joe Burrow at number 1, just think Andy Dalton's gonna be the backup. But I feel like the Bengals should trade Andy Dalton. And if they do trade Andy Dalton, to where? Because they saying, because I know y'all probably, we didn't get into Cam Newton being a New England Patriot saying that's the best team fit, which I don't think it is. Because Bill Belichick liked passing quarterbacks. And I know Gridiron Blitz probably going to say this because I said this on his show. They said the echo is coming from Gooley and the guy on the bottom, not you. No, I don't think it's coming from Jake. I don't think it's coming from Jake. I think it's just coming from Gooley, if I'm not too sure. But I don't know why people say Cam Newton is a fit for New England.
So
I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. I don't.
So I guess since we're kind of up on this subject and kind of thinking a little bit of Cam Newton, like I will tell you this. Cam Newton, the NFL is moving so far away from Cam Newton than we think. I mean, think about it this way. People can say what they want to about Cam. He's talented. He can run on his feet. He can do everything else. Okay, I'm not denying he's talented. That's not the issue here. The hardest thing that I could say about Cam Newton is, number one, that's hard to gamble on a 59% completion rating, not to mention his passer rating was at 85 to like about an 88 percentage. If you look at some certain quarterbacks in this league, like let's say, for instance, Russell Wilson stays consistent. Okay. Patrick Mahomes stays consistent. We're not having day in and day out games with either of those quarterbacks where it feels like it's like the stock market moving up and down, up and down. Too much inconsistencies for a guy like Cam Newton. I'm not denying that he's spectacular on his feet. That's not the point. The point of it is, if either one of these franchises, because again, if anybody wanted to sign Cam Newton tomorrow, they would have already done so already. But most of these owners and general managers, what they have to realize is, what they're looking at is, can we deal with Cam Newton for 4 years? Because right now, Cam wants a starting job. He wants a starting job. And it's a hard risk for most of these ownerships and general managers. So with the NFL, because it's moving past him, where we got Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, all these young quarterbacks coming in, and we got the new quarterback class coming. I just think, honestly, it's kind of little too late for Cam Newton. And my point is, and this is where people have to hear me out, and I'm probably gonna have to stall a little bit for a second because I know we got Darian off the live here. Still got some technical difficulties going on. But you get what I mean, though, with his inconsistencies. That's hard to gamble on a quarterback like that. And I can't begin to tell you how many times I got responses about Cam Newton going to the Chargers. And I said, no. We already have one quarterback who throws 60% completions. We don't need another one who throws below that. Okay, and Tyrod is not the future of the Chargers. Future of the Chargers is either going to be Joe Burrow, Tua, or Justin Herbert, maybe even Jordan Love. But now the point I'm going to make, finally, when we got Darian back on, is why not Cam to the XFL? Okay, does he hate me ring a bell? I just remember Key ended up texting me off the air. He hate me was a Carolina Panther. Cam Newton's a Carolina Panther. So what's to say that the market in the XFL is not good enough for Cam, saying that they won't pay him that much? How about marketing, merchandising, television? I mean, people are not just going to go and watch all these XFL teams. They're only going to watch Cam. They're all going to buy whatever is Cam. And what's the one thing we always used to call Cam? Super Cam.
Yep.
I think
Vince McMahon, he would love to make that money based off with Cam.
Yeah, and think about it this way, that the XFL did the NFL a favor. They got, how many did we see already? 6, 7 XFL prospects in the NFL now that got contracts? What's to say the NFL doesn't do the XFL a favor and keep their ratings up? So if you go in and get Cam Newton to the XFL, I think he'd be an absolute star. And especially in the position that where he's at and where the league is shifting to. I just think that's a possibility.
Or he could be and go to the Canada League. You can go to Canada.
But you have to kind of think of some of those players coming out of the Canadian League. They're pretty fast and hard. I'm not going to lie. And
I agree with Gridiron Blitz. Jeez, I'm sorry. He could be the face of the XFL, but his ego is too big. Shoot, coming from you're Gridiron Blitz, and I hate bringing wrestling into this. You're talking about a 75-year-old senile old man who won't even cancel or postpone his own biggest wrestling event. It's to each his own. They're both big-headed monsters.
Oh, man.
And speaking of Cam Newton, Cam Newton to the XFL, Cam to the Chargers, God, no. Even I don't want to see it. No. But also as Bears fans, oh, boy, Bears fans are going to love this. The Bears were supposed to get Cam, but apparently what I'm hearing is that the Panthers wanted too much from Chicago, I heard. Most of it saying being a draft pick, Jesus Christ, we don't need to get rid of a first-round draft pick. We're already paying for the sins for that. Also, there was also rumors of Khalil Mack. There was also rumors of even probably Eddie Jackson. There was even rumors of, Trubisky was getting involved. So basically, they were going to trade. One of the trades I heard was Trubisky for Cam. Mm-hmm. And I think the Bears would have got rid of a first-round pick. And I think Chicago said no. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people say, the Bears should have took it. No. Guys, we don't even have a first-round pick for this year's draft. What the hell makes you think the Bears are going to do it again for the second time in a row? No.
Yeah, and that first-round pick could very much be
the future.
Yeah, it could be a future. Even if you want to look at the quarterback position and seeing exactly what Mitch Trubisky does next season, but hopefully Nick Foles can push him to his limit. And make
to be honest, though, it's going to be a fight in Bears training camp because apparently, according to what broke the news, is that both that Trubisky is fighting for his job and he might fight it for camp. So both him and Foles are competing for that starting position. And if I was the Bears, and I know a lot of Bear fans are going to hate me, don't start Nick Foles. To be honest, Nick Foles is just coming off from an ACL injury, if I'm not mistaken, or a shoulder injury, actually. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But also, for the Bears, Trubisky's coming off of shoulder surgery, but I'd rather take the risk of Trubisky for just 2 games. See what he does for 2 games. See, I already knew. Damian Estrada would say, what the hell? But wait for 2 to 3 games. See, I know my Bears fans. Every time when Trubisky or losing is involved, we will go off. But here's the thing about Bears fans. You guys have to learn how to be patient.
I know your fans would go off for the Bears, just the same thing for the Lions, Gridiron Blitz. Every time the Lions come up, y'all fans have to demoralize the Lions just like the Bears do. There's no difference.
And here's the thing about the Lions, though. I'm not going to say anything about the Lions. The Lions killed themselves in free agency, to be honest with you. But like I said, give Trubisky 2 games and see if we win 2 games and he's still not producing, we can get Nick Foles. But like I said, Nick, but I'm not the quarterback coach. I'm not Matt Nagy. But I'm gonna say this, and even Bears fans will agree with me. If we go 7-9 or 8-8, say adios to Ryan Pace. He's gone. And also, as for Matt Nagy, his job will be on the hot seat for next season. Trubisky will be gone.
Well,
So that could happen if we go 7-9 or 8-8. If we make the playoffs with a 10-6 or 11-5 record, Ryan Pace will get an extension, Nagy will get an extension, and Trubisky will get a 2-year extension. Because I just know how the Bears organization thinks. It's the freaking McCaskey family, for Christ's sakes.
Well, I will tell you this. I want to say thank you, Malguli, for finally finding at least a diehard Bears fan who I could say can agree to the same mindset that I ended up talking about with Trubisky. Okay, I remembered in that draft, everybody talked about the number 2 pick, and people were not fond of Mitch Trubisky going into that pick.
And the sad part is I was okay with it. I was okay with it. I knew the Bears were going to do.
So was I. Here was the thing.
I hated it. I hated it because Mitchell Trubisky has not proved nothing in college for him to go that high. He proved nothing in college. He proved not a goddamn thing at North Carolina.
Wait a minute.
Y'all moved the unproven quarterback, and he have not done shit since.
Whoa,
period.
No.
Well, wait a minute.
Coach when he got drafted, John Fox, and John Fox has been known to not give young players a chance. Need I remind you that the Bears signed Mike Glennon? And no, wait a minute, ain't Mike Glennon a backup QB for Derek Carr over there in the Raiders?
Mariota is actually. Mariota is. Thank you.
Wait a minute. Let me go back a little bit even further with you here, Malguli. Do you remember of a quarterback you had 4 years, not a Super Bowl, not even a Pro Bowl?
Don't
Jay
say
Cutler?
Oh God.
Listen, this is why.
Do I need to go any further, Jake? Can we go back to Rex Grossman? Can we go that far back?
Wait.
When was actually a legit good quarterback in Chicago besides McMahon?
Caleb Haney.
Yeah,
Caleb Haney was the only quarterback who made a better judgment call than I think Jay Cutler would have, and I think Mike Glennon would have. But you better hope that.
But like I said, I graded Trubisky for the last 3 seasons. Okay, let me say this. His rookie season, I gave him a C because, shoot, it was C. His second season, a B. He did take the Bears to the playoffs, mostly that damn defense. But at the same time, we know Trubisky can pull out a big game out of his ass. Does the game with Tampa Bay ring any bells? 6 touchdown passes?
Yeah.
We know he can put a big game out of his ass.
That year. Anybody could have threw 6 touchdowns on the Buccaneers. Even freaking Rex Grossman could have came out of retirement and won 8 touchdowns with that defense.
He also beat Green Bay, for Christ's sakes. Any quarterback that beats Green Bay with no problem, no issues, is a good QB in my book. Okay,
well, I will make my point.
And hold on, Snake. And when the second year, I gave him a B because he actually was progressing with Matt Nagy. Here, I gave him a C- to a D+ because Matt Nagy, I don't know what the hell was Matt Nagy doing. And also, the Bears kind of went back to preschool when it came back to the offense. We don't know what's going to happen this year. That's why I said Bears fans, I know we're tired of hearing about 1985. For Christ's sakes, I'm tired of hearing about it. But for God's sakes, there's a thing called being effing patient. Do I need to, and God forgive me for what I'm about to say.
How much patience do we have to give the Bears?
If you really want the Bears to start winning, then Virginia McCaskey, we are waiting for the owner to die. There, I said it. When the matriarch croaks, then her offsprings can get sucked from power and go and fuck off to the Hamptons. Okay?
I hate you right now, Malguli. God darn it.
So Bears fans, I'm serious. And if Virginia McCaskey does pass away, I'm telling you. Then, and if some owner, some billionaire actually gives a shit about Chicago, the Bears, and the city, and the state, then there's hope. But right now, we just have to ride the damn roller coaster, okay? Just be patient, goddammit. We don't know what Nick Foles is gonna do. We don't know what
you gotta ride the roller. You gotta ride a roller coaster through Windy City, knowing ain't nothing windy about the Bears right now. Ain't nothing windy about the Bears right now.
It just pisses me off with Bears fans that they don't know the meaning of the word patient. Yes, we've been in hibernation for 30 goddamn years, but Jesus, 2 years ago.
Well, damn, that's you said y'all been in hibernation.
We're back.
Y'all been in hibernation for 30 years. That sounds a little bit. That sounds like a little bit more than the Raiders. I take that.
Well, let me make a point here. Let me make a point here. And Ghoulie, you're a witness. You're a witness, so you can call me out. And any of the Bears fans that want to call me out, because I'm sure Keith's probably going to call me out, or any of them. But let me make a point. Let me make a point here, okay? The Bears, honestly, I would want to say, like
most
around the
organization.
Well,
2000.
Yeah. 2009, about 2010. Okay, here's what I would have shaped this team. You still had Brian Urlacher. You had Lance
Briggs,
Charles Tillman. Okay, they had some very, very good defensive players up at that point. But then let's look at the offensive side. Matt Forte, possibly keep Greg Olsen, Johnny Knox, if it wasn't for the unfortunate back injury, and Bernard Barron,
Bernard Barron, and also a young Cam Meredith.
Yes, and think about this. And this is why I said Caleb Haney would have been a much better quarterback, because if you watched a couple of games that Caleb Haney has played,
yes,
he was actually he got the offense going. And here's what's interesting. If the Bears had that same identity when Alshon Jeffrey was in Chicago, you guys would never have this kind of argument. You guys would have never hibernated for 30 years and still waiting for Chicago to, at least win a championship.
At least we got the Cubs. At least the Cubs broke the streak.
Yeah, that was my point. End of story. That is how I looked at the Chicago Bears with that. That's where I think the Chicago Bears would have played better, was with that.
Yeah. And like I said, guys, and like D say he hates me right now because I'm speaking the truth about the Bears management. For Christ's sakes, guys. Like I said, just we don't know. Only God. Actually, I don't want to say only God knows. Only the Bears can beat the Bears, okay? For this next season. I hope we make the playoffs. But the way how the NFC North is, it's only between the Bears and Green Bay. Detroit and Minnesota, you still believe that Kirk Cousins is still the answer?
Oh, God. One just
and
meant
you lost your best wide receiver.
At least the Vikings have a quarterback, unlike the Bears. No.
You can't do that.
Kirk Cousins is 4 times better.
He cannot beat the Bears. He can't even
beat the Bears. If you look at the head-to-head stats, bro. Look at the head-to-head stats. Trubisky cannot beat Kirk Cousins. Look at the head-to-head stats. Look at the head-to-head stats, bro.
Who got the W?
It doesn't matter about the W. At the end of the day, Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback. And you know why? You know why the Bears won that game? Because of the defense. Trubisky didn't win it. The defense did. Please. Don't do that.
Not the defense. Also,
don't do that. But even in the loss with the Vikings, Kirk Cousins still had more passing yards and touchdowns than Mitchell Trubisky in that game. Period.
Then it wasn't enough for Kirk Cousins.
But right now, Mitchell Trubisky is not better than Kirk Cousins. They have a legitimate quarterback, and Trubisky is not a legitimate quarterback. He's not.
This is how I feel. You know what? This is if Trubisky's probably not listening to this. This is your fighting for your job, I'd be in the gym every single freaking day. I would even talk to some people.
Kirk Cousins can't win in prime time. We understand that.
He can't.
We understand that. But if we want to look at individual stats of year by year since Trubisky came in the league, Kirk Cousins is better than Trubisky. Period.
Can't beat him in Chicago for some reason, and can't even beat him at home.
We talking about in the
comeback season.
like I can't wait till we get to this top 5 quarterbacks of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm thinking about to dig in your behind with that. I'm about to dig in your behind by that. If you think Mitchell Trubisky is better than Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins don't have any wins, you're bugging.
Okay,
You're
first off,
considering
Kirk Cousins is not even
smoking
in the top
crack
5
right
QBs.
So okay, so
top.
make note because I'm gonna help both of you right now. Okay, so Mitch Trubisky, this is 3 seasons now. Okay, 3 seasons of his whole career. Completion percentage is about 63%, 8,000 yards, and his touchdowns are about 48-29. Okay, so keep that in mind about Mitch Trubisky. So that's 3 years. Let's look at good old Captain Kirk's stats in the last 3 years.
You like that.
And Kirk Cousins, he's completed 66% of his throws. And he's had 11,000 yards. And then altogether, his I can tell you his picks right now are down by 19.
Since being in Minnesota?
Yes.
Well, it was Minnesota, also Washington.
Yeah, that's in the last 3 years. In the last 3 years.
That's how much Mitch Trubisky's been in the league for 3 years.
All right. I'll take my L. But at the same time, I still say Kirk Cousins still sucks. I don't care. I'll take
Kirk
my L.
Cousins does not.
I'll say this.
Kirk Cousins does not suck,
D,
bro.
I'm gonna bet you with this. If Kirk Cousins does not take Minnesota to the playoffs,
Which he did. Unlike Trubisky this year.
it was only. Oh my Jesus Christ Almighty. Okay,
well,
I'm gonna make a bet. If Minnesota did not make the playoffs, if they don't make the playoffs, and Kirk Cousins is gonna have to prove something to me. And for these last 3 years, he damn well hasn't. He's not the QB for Minnesota, in my opinion.
You think Trubisky's the QB for Chicago?
Shoot, after that second season, I thought so. This third season, I don't know.
Yeah, he had the limelight and then he slumped.
Well, this is what's going to be interesting. So for Kirk Cousins, we're going to see him prove that without Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
And hope Adam Thielen is healthy. And if he doesn't put a winning record in that 0-9 primetime record, there it is.
Can you pull up how many times Mitchell Trubisky won in prime time? Can we pull this up too?
It's better than freaking Kirk Cousins.
It's better than Kirk Cousins, but if it's just as a losing record than Kirk Cousins, there's nothing to be spoken about. If he has more losses and wins in prime time, just like Kirk Cousins, there's no discussion there. It's no discussion.
All right, let's see. I'm actually pulling it up currently, but let's see.
Because I just feel like, you put Mitchell Trubisky here and you put Kirk Cousins here. I don't understand that. With Mitchell, in the last 3 years, Mitchell Trubisky have not proven nothing. He didn't even prove nothing in college. He didn't even go to a bowl game, bro. Not even a bowl game. What have Mitchell Trubisky done in his career?
Like I'm going to say right now, he's fighting for his job. And if Nick Foles is our answer, well, good God Almighty, Philly special all over again.
So Mitch Trubisky, these were 7 career primetime games. Of those 7, he's 3-4. 3-4.
3-4.
That's not bad. That's not bad. But he has more losses than he has wins as of right now.
At least by the one margin, yes.
Yeah, about one margin. But was those teams elite teams?
Well, one of those teams was definitely Minnesota. So Minnesota, that was the 20-17 final. Not
I know
exactly
Washington was
impressive
one.
because the Vikings were
And the
top
Rams.
5 in the league.
The Rams.
Yeah, the Rams. Even the Detroit Lions.
Oh, the Detroit Lions.
Okay, Detroit. No, that
we're
doesn't
not
count.
going to
Sorry,
count
Gridiron,
that.
but that
It's
doesn't
the
count.
Detroit Lions, bro.
Yeah, didn't you leave?
And here's one:
They
the Green Bay Packers.
They can never be Green Bay in prime time. Even with that defense, they cannot be Green Bay for some goddamn reason.
But yeah, I think it was
Washington, which is not elite. The three teams I remember is Washington, the Rams, and Minnesota.
Yeah, because the rest of those came off of Detroit, Seattle,
Green Bay, and the Rams again. And no, it wasn't the Eagles. No, it wasn't.
No,
the
I think
Eagles.
I think they said it was Seattle.
In Seattle. Prime time in Seattle. Yes, he won that one in Seattle. He won that one with the Rams. Won that one with the Vikings.
Was that Rams game in Chicago that night?
Let me see.
Because I think so. I think so because the Rams can't play on the East Coast anyway. So that's whatever.
Because I don't know why would they try to move the team to freaking Los Angeles. I loved them better when they were in St. Louis.
No, I don't, because no matter if they played in St. Louis a lot or not, they was playing indoors and they was playing in the warm. So at the end of the day, they just still didn't know how to play in the cold because they played indoors.
I will say better for the Rams, but bad for the Chargers.
Women too. Also, primetime Thursday night primetime game. The Cowboys.
Oh yeah, the Cowboys.
The Cowboys, though. We're talking about a team.
Cowboys.
We're talking about a Cowboys that can't make it out the first round every year. We're talking about a Cowboys team that can't make it past the first round every year.
But that's all about to change now having Mike McCarthy. So,
oh God,
if it's the Mike McCarthy thing or if it's the Dak Prescott thing.
It's the Jerry Jones thing at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's a Jerry Jones.
It's a Jerry Jones thing.
If you want to talk about interception machine, you need to look at freaking the internet machine himself. Shoot, Jameis Winston. That's an internet. No, that's an interception machine. I thought Jay Cutler was the GOAT.
Good God, Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles was an interception machine.
Jesus.
Speaking of the Rams, how do y'all like their new logo?
It's horrible.
Listen, look, I
Why
look
does
at
it
their
look like?
logo.
Why does it look like a banana split with blueberries? Why does it look like that?
It looked like a Super Saiyan 3 gone wrong.
Oh God! Look, here's in my opinion. If you actually change that thing from a ram's horn into maybe like a charging bolt, that actually would have been a better Chargers logo. But that thing is absolutely horrible. Here's what's funny: people think it's going to be home for the Rams. Are you sure about that? The Chargers look better than what the Rams are.
I'm gonna take a walk with that one. Whoever said that, I'm gonna take a walk with that.
You're gonna take a walk. I'm gonna take a walk.
Oh,
really? No, but for real, that Rams logo is legit freaking terrible. Jesus Christ, it's terrible.
Look, I at first when the Chargers moved to LA, I thought that logo was horrible because it was just like a little peewee bolt, but that one is even worse.
That was terrible. It's like if I can quote Deadpool on this, it's like an avocado had sex with a meaner, older avocado.
Oh God, it's like he basically like impregnated the whole map of Utah.
God, dude, it was so terrible. Like, who is the designer for the Rams? Because that is terrible.
Apparently, when you look at designers and marketing people in Los Angeles, I don't know who's hiring these people, but I would sure like to talk to them and say,
that was terrible.
What are you expecting in people's resumes?
There was no problem with the original Ram logo. There was nothing wrong with it. Here is like if Goku had sex in Super Saiyan 3 form, and how pop that thing.
Man, I tell you.
But here's what I couldn't get is, like, when the Rams changed their helmet like to that white, I did not see that blending well with their actual uniforms. That was ridiculous. Their alternates, I would have been fine with. I would have been fine with.
Just give me the St. Louis. Give me the St. Louis Rams, that gold and blue. Give me that.
Thank you. That golden
Yes,
blue.
Give me that
please,
gold and
yes.
blue any day. I'm tired of that blue and white. It looks plain. It looks too generic. Understand my Raiders are generic
like
as well.
gold.
But damn, give me that gold and blue. That gold and blue, it meant something to the Rams. I understand they're
Good
trying to
God.
get away
Just like
from.
just like with the Indianapolis Colts, they even changed up their jerseys. I like the black, white, and blue colors.
You know what? I will tell you that nothing compares to that Charger powder blue, man. Seriously, that Charger
boy.
bolting powder blue. How could anybody say that those are horrible? If somebody said that, I'm smacking them.
Whoever had the worst colorways, I thought green and blue were never matched, but Seattle takes the taco for making it work.
Now, I will tell you this: since Key is in the chat room right now,
Oh God!
please, for the love of God, bring back those Kelly greens. When I saw Michael Vick wear that, it's like looking at a mirroring image of Randall Cunningham. Bring that damn thing back. But please, don't ever come back with those freaking Swedish colors. Holy Sweden Batman. What the hell were those?
Oh, the Frankfurt Eagles color.
Yes.
Terrible colors.
Oh.
Terrible.
Oh,
They look like they're part of a drill team.
It's like they
Another
need to be
color
in the,
scheme I don't like, and I think Bears fans will agree. Hey, Broncos, find your own identity, would you?
You know what? With those Sweden colors, it's like they need to be in the same room as the Bumblebee Steelers and the I don't know what the hell those Green Bay unis were with just that dot. Like
Green Bay's color scheme is so weird.
Well, with
Yeah.
that Bumblebee Pittsburgh Steelers, they play better with those jerseys. They win more games in those jerseys. Every time I see them playing them jerseys, they win. I don't know what it is about the Bumblebee. I don't get it. But
the thing about the Steelers, though, and their jerseys, it's black and yellow. Hell, it's so great they made a freaking song.
yeah,
That's
right.
that's their starting lineup theme. I swear to you, if you go to a Pittsburgh game, you will hear black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Well, it's like, look, are you
it's
going to
not
take
really yellow? It's gold. It's black and gold.
Yeah.
The
But
black
that's
and
funny.
gold brigade.
So wait, Key says that
The Browns, get the Browns.
Maz got the Brian Westbrook of the blue and yellow. Oh boy. Oh.
Lord Jesus.
I will agree. The Browns jerseys. What's their color scheme? Brown and white, and I think there's black in there, if I'm not mistaken.
I just think it's brown, and then it just sat there, and eventually it just built. It became feces, but I don't know what the hell the
And,
color
and also,
is.
the Cleveland Browns. Just does that even sound threatening? Like what's so threatening about the color? Oh, actually, that sounds racist. I'm gonna stop.
Lord Jesus.
It does sound racist. Like the color brown, the Cleveland Brown. So what you trying to say? Like if we're intimidating, then okay, that's so kind of racist. There's not a lot of intimidating brown people out there.
Oh my God.
Also, shoot, why not call the Cleveland? They're called what? The Dog Pound, right?
Yeah.
And
Key in
what's
the
their
building.
dog?
Key in the building said Doo-Doo Brown.
Dude, bro, Packers colors are the worst. I will agree with that. Green,
Yeah.
white, and Jesus.
Yeah.
Hey,
So-
here's the thing: Green Bay's supposed to be known for cheese, right?
Yes.
So congratulations, you just proved to me that your cheese is molded. I don't want any cheese from Green Bay.
Well, I mean, think of
Take
it this
the
way.
green off.
At least they have jerseys with no holes in them. Okay, that I mean, freaking cheeseheads, man.
Like for the Browns, what would you rename the Browns? Because obviously they're a dog, but what type of dog? Is it a bulldog or is it a brown dog? Is it?
I think it's the bulldog.
Why
I
not call them
think
the Cleveland Bulldogs?
that's what I was gonna think too.
Like the Cleveland Bull, or what about this? The Cleveland Rockweilers.
Oh.
See, the Cleveland Rockweilers. See, let me name a team. The
That's
Cleveland
actually not bad.
Rockweilers.
That's
or the
actually
Cleveland
not
Pit Bulls,
bad.
or the Cleveland Dalmatian. Anything is better than the brown.
So
That's
then
like the Green Bay green.
yeah. So two questions I had because I was literally. It's so funny that all this came in full circle because I was just listening to a radio show guy talk about these old school jerseys. Okay, so there's two of them. Could you imagine seeing Tom Brady, even though he's going to be in a Bucs uniform? But can you imagine the old school that creamy orange jersey with that pirate there? That
I can see them doing that for at least one game.
Yeah,
One game.
Like who else wore that better? Doug Williams? Like Doug Williams wore that like a beast.
Oh yeah, he wore it like it was like one of the best jerseys in the league.
Hell yeah. Or so like in the Seahawks' position, what if they came back with those one unis during the Steve Largent days?
I love those jerseys though.
Oh my god.
I think those jerseys was tough. I love those jerseys. I would go and get a Seattle Seahawks throwback jersey. I would love to go get it.
Please, for the love of God, if it's in a Russell Wilson, I will not mind wearing that.
Listen, I would love for them to bring that back. Bring that old school style back with the. Then they had the silver helmet with the Seahawk. What? That was ridiculously. That was dope as hell.
That was legit.
That was legit. Raiders ain't gonna never change their jerseys. I don't care. Well, nobody say the Raiders will never change their jerseys.
They'll never change their colors.
They're not gonna change the colors.
No, because
Silver and Black Brigade.
Yeah, like my thought is like if you made, I actually really do dig the silver jerseys, with the silver helmet, and then like the black pants. I dig it. I kind of, and
the Vikings, their color scheme fits. And to be honest, some Vikings actually used to wear a lot of white.
And people try to think that knowing that we moved to Vegas and Vegas Knights have those colors, they really thought the Raiders were going to change their colors to gold and black. Absolutely not.
You don't know what a Raider is?
Oh god,
a Raider ain't gold.
No. Damian Strong, can I ask what the hell is a Raider?
Raiders of the Lost Ark?
It's like a pirate. It's like a pirate with a patch.
Yeah,
it's a pirate. To be honest, if you really think about it, a lot of these teams have pirates. I mean, look at the Buccaneers, the freaking the Raiders, Patriots. Patriots is debatable.
It's just patriotic at the end of the day.
Patriotic.
It's patriotic.
Pirate, but
yeah.
No, you got
their logo is just their logo and their style of their logo is created from the jump. We ain't gonna never see that in real life.
Everybody says that the Dallas Cowboys, and we talked about this a long time ago, I think last year. Dallas being America's favorite team. Where?
They got that persona when they was winning Super Bowls in the 90s.
Yes.
And once
80s and 90s.
Once they got it in the 80s and 90s, they took it and they ran with it. No matter if they went 3-13, no matter if they went 1-16, they still was called America's team regardless.
Because here was what was funny.
I think if the NFL was smart, and this is just my opinion, I don't know how people in the chat will take, but what if the NFL for just 1 year, for just every year, for the teams that had the best record or the best record going into the week, what if that was America's favorite team of that year?
What year was it?
No, like for every year. What if they made an announcement today saying, starting next season of the 2020-2021 season, whoever has the best record from the AFC or the NFC or just the overall best record altogether, what if they started giving that team an award, calling them America's team of the year?
You can't but you can't make.
I'm just saying, as a different.
You really can't make a different American team every year.
Yeah,
that's gonna be tough.
It would be interesting.
Well, it would be interesting, but you gotta say, they the champ.
Wait,
it's just like the NHL because like they got the president.
I was just about to say that. Like, so may not call it America's team, but maybe call it something like, team of the year.
Don't call it the
of the
Roger
year.
Goodell Award.
Well,
No,
That
no,
man
no,
did not
no.
need to be
team
in
of the year, you got to think about it. If you want to be the team of the year, you have a Super Bowl winner at the end of the year. So
Well, they
you'll
named Walter
you'll have a Super Bowl winner and then you'll have a team of the year. That doesn't make any sense to me. If you want to do that, whoever loses in the Super Bowl have to be the team of the year. That's the only way that has to happen.
Or that too. But you know what I mean? Like NHL has the President's Trophy winner. And I am sorry, I think even Jake will probably say this. Will probably agree with me.
But what's the point but what is the point of the President's Trophy winner if you're not the champions of the Stanley Cup? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, shoot, ask the Tampa Bay Lightning that.
Oh yeah, I wish I could ask them that. Because
That
I
was
think
hilarious. They're the first. Also, here's the thing: Tampa Bay made history. The Lightning made history. The first presidential trophy winning team to not win a single freaking game in the first round.
that's like doing stuff like that. It's like telling a kid after he lost the game, you still give him a trophy after losing the game.
Yeah.
No,
That's exactly what it is. If you don't win a game all year, how the hell you get a President's Trophy? It doesn't make any sense.
Or why
y'all.
not just call it like league team at least.
league team of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, league team of the year because at least
Whoever-
it was during the league, like during the season. So at least people will know, okay, that was actually a damn good team of the season. But when it comes to postseason, like you'll have your champion, you'll have your Super Bowl winner, you'll have your Stanley Cup champion.
Yeah,
Like,
and also you can have a banner for it. Yes.
yeah, and Malguli makes a good point about that
I
because
disagree with it.
well, and I'll tell you because the Lightning and out here in Vegas, because I remember seeing the sports bets out here, the Lightning were favored to win the Stanley Cup.
Yes.
They were.
And then they choked.
And that was a massive disappointment and embarrassment for the Tampa Bay Lightning. It was
What's
terrible.
going on, Iris and Vlogs? What's going on?
Now, what's another like basketball, like with the All-Star? I love what they did, calling it instead of the All-Star MVP, they call it the Kobe Bryant MVP.
But that's for the All-Star game.
But also, I
All-Star
really
game,
wish they would
it's
change
it's for the
MVP name. Why not call it the
just for
Bill
the
Russell
All-Star
Award?
game.
Why not call it the Bill Russell Award? MVP
yeah,
right there.
yeah, for MVP, yes. But if you want to call like a team of the year, that's really tough to
Oh, team of
call.
the year in basketball? No.
A team, you can't do it in any
Well,
professional sport, in my opinion.
What about the Phil Jackson Award?
That should be
Jackson's
coach
been
of
known
the
to
year.
have-
Coach of the year. That's
Well,
coach of
yeah.
the year. That should
Yeah,
be
it could be
Phil Jackson.
it could be coach of the year, but you gotta look at if you want to make it Phil Jackson, you gotta think of the coaches before who won more championships than Phil Jackson too.
Yeah,
Right,
but him
yeah.
and then
So you gotta
also,
really look into your history or who you really going to name that actual award to before you actually name it to Phil Jackson. I'm saying that Phil Jackson won a lot of trophies, but Bill Russell has more trophies as a player than Phil Jackson as a coach.
That's true.
And that's why Player of the Year should be called the Bill Russell MVP. Who will win Bill Russell MVP? Now for coach, Phil Jackson. Now for six man, you know, a lot of people say Jamal Crawford Award. No.
no.
Well, in
And
this
some people
modern,
say
in this,
Luke.
if this NBA started in this modern era, then yes. But
With
Nah.
the 6 man a year being called the Jamal Crawford year.
yeah, if it was in this modern era, yes. But no.
Because you got to think about people before Jamal Crawford. You had to think of Tony Kukoc. You had to think of a lot of great six mans back in the day.
I think 6-man award is just 6-man of the year. You really don't have to put. I think you can't put a name on that.
Yeah, there's been way too many of them over
There's
time.
too many good 6-mans in history.
Rookie of the year.
That's
Just keep
gonna be
the
a tough.
rookie of the year.
That's gonna be a tough one to do too, because you have so many great rookie of the years. And honestly, I mean, I don't need to be biased, but you could call it the Allen Iverson Award. Honestly, but
That wouldn't be bad, Allen Iverson.
yeah, but you know how the NBA treated Allen Iverson. You know they're never going to do that. So
No, they're not. They're not. But that was a good idea, though.
Of course.
they're not going to
I mean,
do that. But
but-
speaking of basketball, I don't know if y'all checked y'all Twitters, but I did get a breaking news that Carl Anthony Towns Sr. has tested positive for coronavirus.
Oh,
Now he's in a hospital, and multiple sources saying that he's recovering well.
okay.
Oh, good.
Thank God.
But for Carl Anthony Towns,
That's
That-
stressful.
Right now,
that
'cause it's,
sucks.
His mom, dude.
Yeah, that's
Not only
stressful.
your mom has it, but also she's in a coma.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Like when my coworker told me that, I was like, my mood went from happy to just like, do you really have to tell me that news? Now I'm all
I
depressed.
really
And
didn't
then I
have to tell.
remind you, we're
I
working
really
a
didn't have
10
to tell
hour
you that news, but I knew that Jake wanted to talk NBA, and I think it would be a true transition to
Yes.
go into NBA. So I mean,
Yes.
and I know this is supposed to be an NFL show, so I try to keep it as much football as it is because that's the only thing that's really popping. But Iris Voss did have a good people that he named. He said Lamar Odom and Manu Ginobili were good off the bench as well as 6-man players. But you got to think about
Manu, they
it.
should
Lamar
name a
Odom was
league
a
after
starter
Manu.
before he became a 6-man. Think
That's true
about that.
too. Yep, that is
For
true.
Manu, they could name an award after him, but that should be for not for rookies, but it should be for I don't know. This is
He
a
could
stretch.
definitely be
You know, a lot of
6-man.
people,
He could
a lot
definitely
of
be the. He
people,
could definitely have the 6-man award.
yeah, 6-man award, the Manu Ginobili or the Ginobili 6-man Ginobili award.
That's okay. It's not too bad.
Yeah,
And then
not
also
too,
for
not too
Manu,
bad.
though, even though I doubt they'll ever give awards to rookies that were drafted from overseas. So I don't see that ever happening.
Why not? I mean, if you really want,
I mean, I would love for
I
them
could
to
see
do
them.
it,
I
but
could
I
see
just
them
don't see
giving.
it happening.
That's what I think the NBA
That's what
should
you
do.
name Manu Ginobili.
Even
Or Barry, you
even
can
if they
name
don't
that
do
Dirk.
that, even if
Dirk
they
should
don't do
get
that, just think about this. The NBA need to look at and starting a international award
Yes.
in the
Yeah.
NBA. They need
they do.
and you have more internationals coming into the league every single year. And there's a lot of international players that revolutionized this game from the international. Dirk was one of them. You got to think about it. Tony Parker. People think Tony Parker from America. Tony Parker is not from America. Just to let y'all know. But you had the Tony Parkers of the world. You had the Tony Kukocs of the world. You got Porzingis. You got Porzingis now. You got Luka Doncic now. Like you have a lot of. So you have a lot of international players in the
Even
NBA.
Giannis.
Even Giannis. So if I'm the NBA, that's what you should look into. Having an international award, knowing that you have your MVP, your 6-man of the year, all that
your
stuff.
Rookie, your all
Your
teams.
rookie. You should have a player. You should have an award to represent those international players that's actually changing the game in the NBA.
And also, this is another side note. Change the all team name. I don't like saying all team. Because for all team, I'm thinking of every 30 team in the NBA. So so everybody got an MVP on their team. No, just call it. Jeez, oh God. I mean, call it something. Just call it something different. Like maybe all Jordan or all maybe all Bird or better. What about the all Bird Award or something?
Well, you got to think about it. You gotta. If you're gonna do that, you gotta do it by that special player in that category. So all defensive team, you gotta see who was great in the past that had great defense at that position. Because all defensive teams for an NBA could be a power forward, it could be a center, it could be a guard. So it's a mixture of stuff. So no, we did see just to let you know, we did see the Karl Anthony Towns video. I saw it.
I saw it last night.
It's deep.
Mm-hmm.
My prayers go out to Karl Anthony.
Iverson Vlogs, I agree with you there, but I think they should have did it. I think they should have did the international award. I think they should have did it even before they decided to think about doing it now. They should have did it for years.
They should have did it in 2012.
They should have did it further than that.
Or what? So matter of fact,
you could go early 2000s or late 90s.
2003, 2004.
You could go late 90s, early 2000s. You could do that.
So like 2002, 2003, or 2004.
So like 99 to like 2007. It's like 2007. Because not even 2007, even 08. Because you got to think about it. Look at in that time frame, how many international players came into the league in that time frame. So you could say just make it, just call it the international award. You don't even have to put a name on it. Just call it the international award.
And also, I think everybody can agree with. I don't know. Some people might disagree with this. Some people will agree. Executive of the Year award should be called the Jerry Krause Award.
I think Coach of the Year is fine with me.
No. Coach of the Year. No, you can still have Coach of the Year, but executive. They always give out the executive awards too. Like for like GMs.
You know what? I didn't even pay attention to it.
Yeah, like the GMs and executives, they get an award. Why not call it the Jerry Krause Excellence Award?
Mm-hmm.
Now, before everybody freaks out, Jerry Krause was a good ass executive. Look what he did to the Bulls. But there's a lot of people too. You got to put Boston on there. You got to put the Lakers on there. Was it Bus? Bus, or call it the Bus Award.
Yeah, Bus. Yep.
Or from Boston, that award. Jerry Krause. There's so many awards you can name from great executives. There's so many awards you can name after great players.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why NBA hasn't done it. NHL has done it.
Yeah, the NHL has done it.
MLB, I don't. MLB,
Baseball has not.
I see them doing it, but no. Keep the Golden Glove. Keep that. The Hank Aaron. Oh, actually, no. Actually, MLB has done it. The Hank Aaron Award.
No, the Hank Aaron Award was mostly for the most home runs.
Yeah, for the most home runs. It's still named after a player.
Yeah, it is. It is after a player, but of course, too, you have the Silver Slugger Awards. Ones with the best offensive
sluggers, Golden Gloves, MVP, and
yep.
And that was another one that needs to be named. Like
the international one does make sense for baseball because of however many Dominican players come into the league.
Not only Dominican, but also Asian as well. Asian.
Mm-hmm. That's why I said, and that's why I just said international. Just make it an international award.
Yeah, international.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you got it, Jake. I don't know.
Yeah.
So NBA.
Yeah. So here's what's interesting. So you guys probably want to open your ears up on this one and kind of think of this idea. I was listening to The Herd this morning, and he mentioned something about the current NBA state right now with as far as with the coronavirus and what it may happen with the season, and then are we going to have a playoffs or something like this? So Adam Silver came out and talked about the potentiality of taking away possibly somewhere between June or July. Somewhere there where I think as far as for like playoffs or season, I'm not sure. But I don't think Adam Silver should sacrifice June and July. What I think that the NBA should do, and I did not believe this at first until I finally got the full detail, because the NBA season starts in October, right?
Yes.
Starts in October.
Halloween.
You could sacrifice October, November. Start the season in December like in Christmas, because everybody loves the Christmas Day specials. And please, for the love of God, bring those uniforms back. Because how many views did they have? Yeah, they had a lot of views for that. So think about it this way. What right now of the bodies of sports are the most viewed on television? The NFL, the NBA, and college football. Those are the three. Okay? The other ones, and nobody watches college hoops until March Madness comes around.
Right.
Okay? During the summer season is all baseball. Baseball has by far the lowest television ratings of any other sport in the league. And think of it this way. There are some people that'll watch hockey, like big-time hockey fans. They'll watch the season or they'll watch till the Stanley Cup playoffs. If the NBA was to start in December and then carry on all the way until June and July, people are going to tune more into the NBA more than they're going to tune into baseball. Because I will tell you this, as a baseball fan background, nobody watches baseball whatsoever because it's such a long season, 162 games a year. But in the NBA, what have they done right that baseball has not? Primetime games, playoffs, and they spotlighted on so many star players. So I think about it as the NFL starts in about August, September. Okay, so everybody's going to tune into the NFL. So once the NFL season's over, what does everybody turn to? NBA. Everybody tunes to the NBA. So if, of course, there's the mixture, like the balance between hockey and NBA, I'm fine with that. But more people, I guarantee you that if you crossed over to winter, spring, and summer for the NBA, I guarantee you everybody's going to watch the NBA. Then once college hoops comes around, everybody's going to watch March Madness, come back to NBA, and once NBA season's over, they can then give it to football. They can give all those viewers to football. But that's
it
where
kind of takes the viewership from baseball a little bit. I mean, yeah,
Well,
I
a
do
lot of
agree.
people don't really watch baseball until the actual playoffs anyway.
The World Series.
Yes, but
Yeah,
that's where
the
baseball,
NLCS and stuff like that. So
yeah, and that is where baseball needs to do better. Because if NBA and NFL and college hoops and college football are doing better with as far as their ratings, I mean, hell, NHL could do much better also because of some of the primetime games, because I know they showcase it. I've been saying this for years about baseball. Showcase games, more rivalries, more primetime games, and let the kids play. Let the kids play. Show the cleats. Show the gloves. Fashion, something flashy. Because you ain't going to make it in the television market.
The problem with baseball is they want to keep it old-fashioned.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't mind the old-fashioned. I'm talking about innovating the old-fashioned tradition. Make it better.
But you got a bunch of old farts in baseball that's part of the committee that want to keep it old-fashioned. Because even back in the old-fashioned, it wasn't really as flashy either. You got to think about it, too. It's not really too many popular, flashy players in baseball either. I mean, you got your notables, but outside of your notables, who else is it?
That is
and
true.
Also, to Snake, back to with the basketball thing, I do like that idea, but I believe the NBA did that once. I believe, if my memory serves correctly, well, not starting on on Christmas they did when they had that lockout.
That's what I was thinking too.
I think there was another time around in 2002, 2003, if my memory corrects. I remember the season not ending till almost like July, like almost like the 4th of July. And one of the reasons was the first round, there were so many game sevens on the West. Like there were so many game sevens in the East. Because the West, everybody was getting swept, if I remembered. I don't know what year it was. But NBA had to push back a whole entire month because the West was finished. They were done with their first round. The East, it took them a minute. Like Boston, I think it was Philly and Boston one year in 03. Back when they had Allen Iverson, I think this was also the year that the Nets came out of nowhere twice. And like the season did not end until almost the 4th of July because the East, back in the day, and yes, youngsters, back in the day in the chat, the East was competitive back in the day. Back in the day. Just like how the West has always been competitive.
Yeah.
But back then, like, we would have to wait on the East. Now, which NBA would start doing that? Like, now they like for instance, let's say if the first round of the playoffs was, let's say, the Pacers and the Heat, and they were in Game 7, and also another Game 7 from the East, let's say Philadelphia and the Bucks. And the West already started round 2. That, to me, that's just like, really? So what happens if this happens again? It makes the season longer, but it's like, can we wait?
But my only thing is maybe if it gets to a point where it's like a complication, I think that's also where they have to involve the season. Cut at least a couple of games away and get straight to the playoffs. Get at least straight to the playoffs, because at least the East and West, they'll already have their teams representing, and they could start on a schedule that is comfortable for both sides, the West and East.
See, with me, I kind of disagree in some instances, and sometimes I really don't, because we got to consider, and a lot of people don't really put respect on the WNBA, but
Yeah,
The
that's also in the
WNBA, the
summer.
WNBA is right after the NBA. So if I was Adam Silver and I was the commissioner of the NBA, and this coronavirus is going to take us a long time, I would do just like what March Madness does. I would mix and match the teams and rank them. That's
Yeah.
just me. That's the quickest way to get the season over with. Mind you, half of the season is already over for the regular season.
Right.
Do it like the round of 64, like in college basketball. Mix the teams up. Do 1 through 16, or 1 through 8 on each side, and you have your definitive winner. You have your elite 8 or your final 4, and then whoever comes out comes out. Even if it's 2 East teams, oh well. Because if you're
And
trying to
also,
do, so if you
Damian
try to
is-
do, so if you try to do 7 games for 7 game series for each first round, second round, Western Conference, it's going to come into people will say, "Oh, people don't care about the WNBA." I do because I used to coach girls. I used to coach girls basketball when I lived in New Jersey, and they look up to those WNBA players. And no WNBA player, mind you, they just got a new CBA before all of this happened, so they was going to get paid more to play in America instead of going overseas. So that new CBA came down for the WNBA, and now they can't play because of the coronavirus. And knowing that the NBA has all these games left, I think if this holdout and this postponed the league is going to be so long, forget playing regular season games. Go strictly into the playoffs. Period.
And Damian Estrada, I kind of disagree. No, keep the NBA the best of 7. I'm sorry, keep it the best of 7.
I would say me personally, I'll say the best of 3 or best of 5, but make it like a college basketball format. Because think about it, if they do come back in July, in June, that's running into the WNBA season. That's running strictly into it. And you know the WNBA has the summer. They have the summer. That's their time to play basketball.
Right.
So it's 7 game series. I'm not saying going forward at like as far as next year, don't do it. But knowing that the coronavirus is holding up this year, do it for this year only, so the WNBA can do the same exact thing when they get into the playoffs. Get it done and over with, because you're running into other league seasons like baseball and the NFL. And think about it, at the NFL, the XFL is coming right back. So that if that happens, that's going to run through all of that. So
here was what I found out too, that if the longer that this coronavirus holds the NBA is taking a $1 billion hit. $1 billion hit.
And that goes for the WNBA as well, because NBA is funding the WNBA.
Yep. Exactly. That's where I like that point. I like that point of, the college hoops March Madness idea. And I think it is smart, a 3 and 5 game series, because at least that, the playoffs could wrap up quick. And as I've said, it could then move over for the NFL now to start their season. And of course, if the WNBA was to basically collaborate as well with the NBA, then it would be just like March Madness.
Right. And then it gives. Think about it, I think a lot of the players in the NBA would like that, because think about it, most of the NBA players that went to college and did March Madness, they love that feeling. They love that energy. They love, even though if it's not a 3 to 5 game, if it's one and done, that means you got to play for all the marbles, bruh. You just can't take a night up like, oh, I get ready for game 2. Hell no. You got to bring all of it in this game if it's one and done.
Because that's the one thing, is that's what fans and, even in the collegiate level, parents came to see their kids play. So it was always a player and fan collaboration when it came to college hoops, which was the most important. And so I think that if the NBA experiments that like that, I think that can too boost their ratings and boost their fan bases.
Yes, and I feel like the NBA needs to switch it up, understanding that NBA is so traditional with the 7 game series. But right now, with this coronavirus going on, if you want to get the season done and over with so everybody can be cured and be, good for this, and you want to bring the NBA back, this is the only option, in just my opinion. It's the only option to get it done and over with, so these players can go back to their families and make sure they're healthy and get ready for a full next season the traditional way. But to get the NBA season over, I think they should go to the college format.
Right. And of course there was a lot of conversations as well with what's happening with the NHL. And actually there were some NHL executives who were throwing out the idea as well of a potential March Madness for them. And I thought that was pretty interesting because I think that's East and West, all those teams going in. And it was basically seeing exactly who best team standing. And then that would determine exactly who the Stanley Cup winner would be. Because ultimately for hockey fans, and I think that a lot of people will understand this, there has to be a winner for the Stanley Cup. They got to award that Stanley Cup. Because while we're on it, I got notifications that the award ceremony that's always here in Vegas, that's postponed. The draft now is postponed, and so is the scouting combine. So 3 of those events, of course, that begin or end the NHL season, all those are postponed now and won't go on until this whole virus goes out.
And I think it should be like that for all the sports that's missing out, like the NHL and the and NBA, because they, right now they really the only real two team sports that's really hurting from this. I know baseball was just coming around when this coronavirus came. NFL, we don't have to worry about anything until when it gets to at least the summertime to see what's going to happen there. So if the NHL and the NBA want to go the collegiate route to get this season's over with so we can be on schedule for every other league, yes, I would definitely go to collegiate level that way. Iris Vlog says James Harden and Russell Wilson wouldn't like that. Well, James Harden and Russell Wilson play like that in college too.
Yeah,
they play like that in college. Russell Westbrook went to the University of UCLA, and James Harden went to Arizona State. So,
I'm like, first of all, why would they want to worry about that? What they should worry about is
James Harden and Russell need to grow up. Shoot, they about to, if the coronavirus was not around, and if we were in playoff time, they would get swept. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You want to play small ball? Okay.
There is the refs are not blowing the whistle, James Harden. They're all swallowing the whistle.
I'm sorry, this is just going to be a little mini rant with Houston, and I got to put Houston fans in their place. Okay, the refs didn't call for you guys to make 31, to miss 37 straight three-pointers. The refs didn't injure Boogie Cousins, Kevin Durant, and Klay Thompson. Okay, the refs didn't do any of that. When are Houston Rockets fans and their players going to take responsibility and say, hey, you know what? Whatever game plan that we had, it didn't work. How about we change it up? This is why I cannot respect the Houston Rockets. And I am probably one of those people that don't want to see Houston win a ring. As much as I love James Harden, as much as I love Russell Westbrook, let's be real. They're divas. They're divas.
They are. They're divas.
Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook loses, he never shakes anybody's hand. He goes straight to the locker room.
And Iris of Law says because they don't show up. That's why. That's the thing. And this is why I feel like the NBA should change it to the college format, because I feel like players want to get a night off and be like, oh, forget it, I'm just going to wait till game 3 just to show up. No. Hell no, I hate that. That gets on my goddamn nerves that you wait until a game 2 or a game 3 or a game 5 just for you to show up. Hell no.
And you can't
say like what happened with Donovan Mitchell last year. I mean, Donovan Mitchell tried to get it going, but then in game 3, Utah switched it up. But then who did they face? The Nuggets, and the Nuggets switched it back around.
Well, here's what's funny, because you cannot end up mentioning, and I hope people do not mention load management in this whole thing, because load management
right now everybody's load managing.
Yes, everybody's load managing. But the thing of it is because they're trying to get themselves prepared for playoffs. But that's where fans are like, if you're preparing for playoffs, then you better play in the playoffs. I don't want no more load management come the playoffs. Season, I'm fine with. You get your rest, but
And that's
playoffs,
why,
you better show
and
up.
that's why I say it should be a one and done collegiate tournament just for this year only, just because of this year only, because of the coronavirus situation. But I don't want to hear if they do a one and done playoff for the NBA.
Yeah.
You can't load management. You have to play.
Well, here's what's interesting. Golden State, or Game 6, Golden State and Houston, no KD and Curry had 0 point at halftime, and then Curry dropped 36 points in the second half and won the game for Golden State. Well, Darren, you and I talked about it. Houston was literally a Chris Paul away from literally winning the whole damn thing.
Yep.
Okay, but what happened? James Harden could not handle the pressures. Twice you couldn't handle the pressures. And look, I don't want to hear about, James Harden's eye. Okay, Steph Curry broke his finger and it was gross. Okay, the fact of the matter is James Harden was not focused in that whole moment because he was focused on what the refs were going to make. Yeah, he was focused on what the refs were going to call, and that changed the outcome of the game. I'm sorry, but Houston, they looked like they were winning, like they were going to win a championship, but not anymore.
But when Chris Paul went down and Harden didn't become a leader, it really showed.
Harden never been a leader, yo. Harden never been a leader. He's never been a leader in his basketball career.
And I love, Mike. I can't pronounce his name, but he does what ifs on his YouTube channel. He said, "What if the Thunder did paid Russell if they paid James Harden?" I'm like, they probably could have won a ring.
They actually could have, because at least then it would say Oklahoma City finally gets it and knows that James Harden, you need to put him up in the lineup, not Thabo Cephalosha.
Oh,
okay,
God.
you need to get him in the damn lineup. Like that was your team.
That was so disrespectful.
That was your team, because then there would have been none of this breakup. There would have been none of this animosity that Oklahoma City had to deal with.
And also, guys, this is a straight up fact. I'm sorry, Jake. This is also a straight up fact. Tell me, guys, if this is a fact. Every time when somebody has to play beneath Russell Westbrook and they leave him, doesn't that player automatically become like a freaking warrior out of nowhere? Oladipo rings any bells? Schroeder rings any bells?
Yep.
Like, nobody knew who the hell Victor Oladipo was until he went to Indy and it became.
Because
a lot of people knew who Victor Oladipo was when he was in Orlando.
Big name.
Yeah,
he had a name in Orlando. When he went to OKC, that all changed.
And then when he went to Indiana,
he went back to being Oladipo where we saw in Orlando.
but of course, it also has to deal with who you deal with on the same side of the floor. Mm-hmm. That's what's the most important thing. And this is where I've always said Russell Westbrook and Cam Newton are such spitting images of themselves, because Cam Newton and Russell Westbrook, one can't shoot three, one cannot throw deep balls. Okay, they're both hyper athletic players.
hell.
They both are. But for how long can those wear and tear on your bodies last? Westbrook, you put the game ball in his hands, I'm sorry, he's not going to do it for you. Not going to do it for you. Unless if he's got an open hole, that's about it. But he's not going to do it for you. But
it's so funny that I wish the playoffs would start, if the virus wasn't a thing. I would love to see the Thunder beat the Rockets in the first round.
Oh my God, yes.
I would laugh. I'd be like, "Hey, Russell, remember you said you wanted to trade because the Thunder were going to rebuild?"
Or here was the thing. Here was the thing. Remember the locker room vibe between Chris Paul and James Harden? Supposedly, Chris Paul was such old school basketball, but James Harden didn't want to be on the same page.
That was weird to me.
That was really weird. But here's what's funny is everybody wants to shoot the ball. Everybody wants to shoot the ball. Point guards want to shoot the ball. Shooting guards have always been the ones to shoot the ball. We got centers in this league wanting to shoot the ball.
It's the Golden State
Hibbert
Warriors
started
effect.
that
That's
crap.
all it is.
It's the Steph Curry
it's,
effect.
it's the Golden State Warrior effect, man. Because Klay Thompson,
Golden
he's
State,
shooting
you
nothing
can
but threes.
blame on them, but that big man shooting three crap. Who started? People said
Because
Shaq.
here's what's a perfect example. If you watch the Laker games, at least the last 5 games before this whole pandemic, did you watch how AD played in the first 3 quarters? He played great. But did you ever watch his play in the fourth quarter? He can't get the job done. It wasn't LeBron's fault for the pass because that was a good idea. What was LeBron supposed to do?
Yeah, he was driving to the basket and he closed out.
Because
he got closed out.
Because here's what's so funny. Because this is why I keep saying LeBron James should win MVP. Because everybody, for whatever reason, seems to have this much hate on LeBron, like have this machismo stereotype about LeBron because of the fact of you got to take the shot. Well, I was double teamed. I was guarded. I can't end up taking. You got to take the shot. Okay, that's how a man does it. That machismo stereotype is ridiculous. Right. Like, what is he supposed to do? That wasn't his fault. He passed over to Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis tried to sink a 3 and miss. Like, that's
you got to drive it home, son.
I mean,
exactly.
don't get me wrong. A lot of people be mad for LeBron passing it, but if you look at that play alone, they knew that it was going to LeBron. They knew it. They knew LeBron was going to do everything in his power to try to make that shot. But LeBron, it was a smart pass because Anthony Davis was wide open.
Yes.
He was wide open. So you can't blame LeBron on passing up a game-winning shot where he was damn near covered.
Yes, absolutely.
Come on, y'all. Like these analysts make me mad. These analysts that get paid millions and millions of damn dollars for
Every
them
time.
to say, "Oh, LeBron should have took that shot, no matter who was on him." I'm sorry. If I'm LeBron James, what I'm going to do is that if I drive to the basket and it's like 4 players collapsing on me, I am going to pass the basketball out. That's one thing I'm just going to do. And I'm going to pass it to the open person, and they just have to, it's just a 50-50 shot.
But it's just it's what kind of boggles my mind about some people that don't understand old school basketball. Like Gooley and Darian, you guys understood this. You understood what old school at least what I remembered old school basketball was probably late 90s, early 2000s, maybe even before then.
Right.
Because you had Steve Nash, who was nothing but a passer. Jason Williams would either be a guy that's going to give you an important basket or he's going to pass the ball. He's going to open up spacing for his teammates on the floor. But it's like people kind of have a tendency to forget that. Point guards want to shoot so much. Like, perfect example for Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons can't shoot threes. He's got to have an open lane for him to get his points, get his important points. And that's extremely hard.
Bad to bring up Ben Simmons.
No,
but it's kind of extremely hard.
I disagree with that. Ben Simmons only goes to the rack when it's someone smaller than him. He don't go up against bigger people. If you look at his stat sheet.
Well, I got a good example.
He goes up against smaller guards. He gets all his points against smaller guards because if he drives to the basket, he's stopping and looking to pass it away.
Here's an example as me as a Chicago Bulls fan. You know what? My favorite playoff game, after when Jordan left, was when they took on Boston in 2009. To me, I think that's still probably going down. That's probably one of the greatest series I've ever seen. Because Boston, let's be real. I think did Boston win that whole year? But I don't know. But Boston, though, everybody had them as the favorites. Everybody thought they were going to sweep Chicago. This is the same year that Rose had his rookie year, and we were on the on the terms of trying to bring back Ben Gordon. Oh my God, that was a team that young Bulls team, a young Joe Kim Noah, a young Derrick Rose, and a very experienced not JoJo, Ben Gordon, and a young Kurt Heinrich. Good God Almighty, they took it to Boston in all 7 games. They took it to him. And the thing, like, I remember when was the first game of that series. Like I remember Benny Del Negro's play. That, like, the shot that Ben Gordon took that he wasn't supposed to take. Like, he was getting covered. And
Right.
well, Rose was gone. And I think it was John Williams who was the backup point guard at that time. Like, I can hear Steve Kerr.
So.
Like, Steve Kerr was literally screaming. Like, he was about to get off his headset and said, "Ben, what are you doing?" And then Ben just shot it up with no hesitation, and Chicago won that game. I was surprised. It put a tear in my eye. I was like, holy crap, Chicago basketball is back. Who knew putting your eggs in one basket will lead you to 7 years of drowning? Thank you, Guard Foreman, for that. God.
But I do. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, here's what's funny. Iverson Vlogs mentioned this. He says, I'm a big fan of Lonzo Ball. You might not believe in him, but I'm a big fan. I'm not saying I don't believe in Lonzo Ball. Just get his dad away from me. Get his Bob away from me, please.
I think his dad is away from him. I think his game has been, since he left LA, if you look at it, you don't see the scared little boy of letting his father down when he was in LA. Lonzo is playing his game, and I see that he got away from the big baller brand. He got away from that, and I think it's showing on the court, not just emotionally but physically as well. So I do like Lonzo Ball. People might hate the fact that he changed his shooting style, but his shooting style made his shot better. So and he didn't go to his father that made his shot better. He's a grown man right now. He wants to do what he wants to do. That's why his father is. That's why LaMelo and his father is probably so close. Is because LeVar got more leverage for LaMelo. Lonzo is doing his thing as a grown ass man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
and LeVar Bell, Jesus.
Last
LeVar
but not
Ball,
least,
God.
Last but not least, topic.
That run. Oh,
all right.
I'm mad they put that in.
Let me get myself ready for this topic.
Yep. Bring it to us.
The top 5 quarterbacks of all time.
Oh, I gotta turn this mic up.
The last.
Top 5.
The last.
This all started when D put on our Facebook community post with, and like I said, I got.
No, this started with First Take. This started with First Take.
And I'm sorry, Stephen A. Smith and Max are going to be in this trash can.
Do anybody have that list of Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman's list? Anybody has that?
I can look it up on my phone. I did not like the list.
I don't know if I think it's in our group chat.
I did not like the list. I think it was very disrespectful.
Neither did I.
Like, especially on Max's list.
Okay. So top 5 quarterbacks of all time. I have it here. So Stephen A. Smith says Tom Brady, Joe Montana, John Elway, Peyton Manning, and Aaron Rodgers. That's according to Stephen A. Smith. Now, that he made Tom Brady number 1, Joe Montana number 2, John Elway number 3, Peyton Manning number 4, Aaron Rodgers 5. So this is Max Kellerman. Tom Brady number 1, Joe Montana 2, Aaron Rodgers 3, Peyton Manning 4, John Elway 5. Now, I want to go first on this. I'm not mad at 4 of the 5. And that's Tom Brady, Joe Montana, John Elway, and Peyton Manning. I'm not mad at that. Tom Brady should be number 1 because of as many Super Bowls that he had. Joe Montana, sometimes you can flip that back and forth between them two. Fine. John Elway, I don't know if John Elway should be in this top 5. But but at the same time, I can understand it though. I can understand how many times that he been to the AFC Championship and he won, and then he finally went in back-to-back Super Bowls before he retired. So his journey of where he got to could put him in that top 5 all time. Peyton Manning, no brainer. That is a no-brainer. No matter if they say, oh, he won a Super Bowl in Denver, and that was Denver defense. He still won a Super Bowl, but we all know that first Super Bowl meant a lot to him because he beat Tom Brady that year to get to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. In Indianapolis when Tom Brady threw that pick to Antoine Bethea. I remember that play clearly. But Aaron Rodgers. Only reason why Aaron Rodgers is put on here, we all know Stephen A. Smith is an Aaron Rodgers fan. He knows that he likes Aaron Rodgers. That is a bad man. We all know that. But I do like the fact that Aaron Rodgers, he put Aaron Rodgers at 5. He didn't put him up at number 3 like Max Kellerman did. Max Kellerman, I don't know how you put Aaron Rodgers over Peyton Manning, but you're bugging right now. You're bugging. You put Aaron Rodgers over Peyton Manning and John Elway, and Peyton Manning and John Elway have more Super Bowls than Aaron Rodgers? I'm lost.
That's why I love when Kevin Hart got on that show and called both of them out because they don't know anything about sports, especially Max.
And I know you about to go here and say Drew Brees should be in his top 5.
He should be.
I disagree. And I'm going to tell you why. You can have all the passing records in the world. You can have all the accolades regular season in the world. But if you notice, to solidify Peyton Manning's spot, he had to win multiple Super Bowls. Drew Brees has not done that. Drew Brees is so great regular season. But when it comes to the playoffs, when the last time he actually been to a championship game? That's my problem. But do I want Aaron Rodgers on this list? No. Because I can say the same thing for him as well. When the last time Aaron should not be on this list, but you got to think about it there. You got to think about it there.
There's one man who should be.
Who?
And that's why Stephen A. Smith and Max are going into my trash can.
Who?
Brett the Hitman Favre.
No.
Brett Favre should be on that list.
No.
Brett should be on that list.
No.
Brett should be on that list.
No.
You're talking about championships, right?
Brett has won Super Bowl. He has won Super Bowl and then he retired, came back, played for the Vikings, retired again, and came back and played for the Jets.
That's when he butt fumbled when he went to the Jets. He butt fumbled.
It's not even that. He has won Super Bowl. One. I understand that he probably could have went to the Super Bowl with the Minnesota Vikings that year. You know, what happens with the Bounty Gate, that with the New Orleans Saints. But at the same time, he only has one Super Bowl. Mind you, there's a few players that there's a few quarterbacks that I could think that I could rearrange this. And it's like, I wouldn't say he's top 5, but if you want to go like top 10, Brett Favre's in my top 10. Mm-hmm. Jim Kelly is in my top 10, but he's not top 5. Because I don't know any other quarterback that been to 5 AFC championships besides Donovan McNabb. AFC at that. You can't tell me any other quarterback
NFC
in the AFC. Any other quarterback out of Tom Brady. You cannot tell me any other quarterback out of Tom Brady that went to 5 AFC championships. 5. And went to the Super Bowl 5 times. Understand that he didn't win one, but he went there 5 straight years. Brett Favre couldn't even do that. As far as the top 5, that 5th spot is open to me because I just don't know who I would put there. I'll have to really look deep down because you got to think about it. You got to look at the Roger Staubachs of the world that have multiple championships with the Dodgers, or the Bart Starrs or the Jim Otto. Like you have not Jim Otto. Jim Otto wasn't a quarterback. What's his name?
Joe Namath.
Joe Namath only got one, but Joe Namath only got one quarterback. But you know what makes him legendary, though? What makes him legendary is that he guaranteed that they was going to win the Super Bowl. He put that as a publicity stunt and put it in the media, said, I guarantee that the Jets will win the Super Bowl against them. And he went out and did it. That's what makes him legendary. So if I'm going to put anyone up there, I'd probably put Bart Starr up there. If you want to put a Green Bay Packer quarterback up there, put Bart Starr up there.
Sounds fair.
All right, because I can see where D's coming from with championships. For me, it's both championships and stats wise. For me. And you know what? Having like with Max's list, I'm deleting that list. Delete. Stephen A, his list is damn near perfect.
Well,
but that Aaron Rodgers one really bugs me a little bit.
The list is the same.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is the bad man. Yeah.
The list is the same, but Max just have it rearranged. I just don't understand how you could put Peyton Manning over Aaron Rodgers over Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I don't get that whatsoever.
When it comes to
he need to go back to boxing.
In my list, I don't think he wants to go back to boxing after his brother got killed by a boxer. But
he actually was. He actually was at the Tyson Fury and Wilder fight. He actually was commentating that.
The thing with me when it comes to my top 5 quarterbacks, I always put in stats and I always put in championships. Now, Aaron Rodgers being on both of their lists kind of irked me a little bit, even though I agree with one championship. But if we were to bring championships and stats into this, and I know Green Bay Packers fans are going to say, "Oh, you're just saying it because you hate Green Bay." No, this is a fact. Who won a championship first, Breeze or Rodgers?
Rodgers.
No, Breeze. Breeze won it in 2010. Rodgers won it in 2011.
It's only a year apart. It's not like it's
a year apart. But the thing here is what Snake said on our last live stream. Like Aaron, what was the year that Aaron Rodgers officially started for the Green Bay Packers? Was it 2009 or 2010?
It was 2009, 2010, because that was when Brett Favre was about 35.
Yeah, you had to think about it too. Nobody thought that Aaron Rodgers was going to succeed after Brett Favre left. Everybody discounted Aaron Rodgers. Everybody discounted Aaron Rodgers.
I give Aaron Rodgers the credit in the world, but he's not a top 5 QB of all time. He's top 10. So Green Bay Packers fans, I give him as a top 10. Now, number 1, you know what? Even though, Tom Brady, you can probably put him in number 1. Personally, to me, you know what? As winning 6 championships and stat-wise, he definitely can be number 1. Drew Brees, I always, with Drew Brees is in my top 5.
At what number, though?
Probably at number 5 or number 4. Because Drew Brees not only breaking records, also having multiple awards, and also winning a championship. But let's be real, who did he beat to win a championship? He beat Peyton Manning. And let's be real, the Colts.
Did he beat Peyton Manning?
He beat Peyton Manning. Drew Brees beat Peyton Manning. 2010. Remember, the Colts were up. The Colts were up 2 touchdowns.
Peyton Manning only been to Super Bowl twice?
Huh?
Peyton Manning only been to Super Bowl twice.
No, he's been to Super Bowl 3 times.
4 times actually.
4 times.
Twice with Indy, twice with Denver.
He didn't know. He
twice
only
with
went
Denver, twice with the Colts.
Twice with the Colts. That was when Drew Brees won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then Denver, you had Seattle.
I think he only went with the Denver Broncos twice.
No,
he won't.
No,
remember,
if you remember that embarrassment by Seattle.
Seattle beat the living dog bejesus out of them.
Nobody heard Omaha screaming out of that huddle.
The first play was a fumble, and it was a fumble recovered touchdown.
Correct.
Just because he beat Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl doesn't make him a top 5 quarterback. I disagree with that analogy. I really do.
But the reason why I put Drew Brees as the number 5 QB and why Damian Strauss said, he's only won damn Super Bowl. Yes, he did beat Peyton Manning. But at the same time, going back to 2004, let's be real. it was his comeback, and from years on development, breaking records, having offensive awards, and also stats. He's broken how many stats? He's broken what, Peyton Manning's record. He's broken John Elway. You know, the list goes on. And when everybody always say, "Oh, the greatest quarterback of all time being Tom Brady," and you know, yeah, I can see your argument, but you gotta put respect on Drew Brees' name.
I would say he's top 10 all time, but I wouldn't put him top 5 all time. I wouldn't do it.
With all the stats that he's broken, for all the plays that he's made.
But you gotta think about it though. He broke those stats. He broke those stats when no players stopped playing. He didn't do it while they were playing. He did it when Peyton Manning retired.
Even when Peyton did retire, even then when Peyton, what was it? When they won the year, I can't remember the year. Was it 14, 13? God, my memory is hazy. But I do remember Drew still playing while Peyton Manning had all 4 years left under his belt with the Denver.
That's not the point though. Drew Brees is good. Don't get me wrong. Do I think he's top? He's not top 5 right now, all time. He has to do more for me to make. He's still going to be considered one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
So you're saying if next season, if him and the Saints can win another championship,
it could be a conversation. It could be a conversation, but until then, he got to at least take them to the conference championship.
If they don't get robbed. Now, hold on. Now, before everybody starts, they didn't get robbed last year. No, they did that to themselves. Drew Brees fumbling at the worst possible time.
We understand and
then also the Rams. Let's not forget that they got scammed when they took on the Rams.
They got scammed, but at the end of the day, you still had to play a game.
Yep, you still had to play a game, even though
you still had to play the game.
Tackle on Stephon Diggs.
That interception.
Yeah, the missed tackle on Stephon Diggs. That's not Drew Brees' fault. But at the same time,
the missed tackle. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. The missed tackle. To be honest, the biggest question for Drew Brees is his biggest kryptonite. Actually, it's not even his. It's the Saints. Actually,
it's the Saints.
Can they get past Minnesota? Now with no Stephon Diggs, and if Minnesota does make the playoffs, and if they do face the Saints again. Even without Stephon Diggs, can they beat them?
I'm sorry, I'm late. Notifications is crap right now. They really are, man. Notifications really sucks right now.
Like Gang Green said, he can't even get a notification when I'm live when I do the Raw streams.
All right, but I don't even knowing I have almost 3,000, 2,500 subscribers, and it's only 3 people in the chat. So, yeah.
Like number 3. You know what? Peyton Manning, you can put him on that list for number 4.
I'll put Peyton Manning top 3.
Top 3 or top 4? You know, John Elway. I can see the argument, but I don't know. Now, Joe Montana obviously is up there.
You can't. And so my thing is this though. Would you put Drew Brees over Steve Young?
Put Drew Brees over Steve Young
as top 5 quarterbacks all time. Would you put Drew Brees over Steve Young?
I would.
What?
I would. I go by statistics and I go by championships.
If you want to go by statistics and championships, pull up Steve Young numbers. Please do.
I can put up one Steve.
Pull up Steve Young numbers when he was playing.
Okay, so Steve Young, because this was from Buccaneers and 49ers, okay? He was what I'm actually looking at this on NFL.com because I have the top 25 quarterbacks, to be fair. Back in the day, he was Russell Wilson. He was Russell Wilson back in the day. Okay. The stat you needed to know, honestly, is the only player in NFL history to lead the league in passer rating for 4 consecutive seasons from 91 through 94. With that said, he pulled it off, replacing Joe Montana. But like I said, Joe Montana already inherited all those receivers and all those players before even Steve Young came back. That's the only thing.
I don't know how people putting Drew Brees in their top 5. I just don't see it right now.
In this one, Drew Brees isn't even 5. He's number 6.
I would put him at 6.
I can see that. I
can see Brees being 6. But at some of top 5 all time, it's so many quarterbacks.
This is not like a fact for me. This is just a personal list.
It's a personal list, but you got to think about it. It's so many quarterbacks. Like we even think, like he put Dan Marino over Drew. He put Drew Brees over Dan Marino. Like, are you serious right now?
When I'm looking at this
Understanding
list,
that Dan Marino didn't have no Super Bowls, but if you want to look at what he did for the Miami Dolphins culture at the time.
So
I don't know.
They could have won a championship.
So since I have this list up, because these are the 25 quarterbacks they have ranked, this is obviously just going to help us with the list. So, because I can tell you, Warren Moon is 22nd, Jim Kelly's 21st.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
You have Jim Kelly.
There's no way Jim Kelly should be. He should be at least top 15. Come on.
And dear God, do you know what they talked about with Jim Kelly? With the fact that he took the Bills to 4 straight Super Bowls?
Yeah, my man, not 4, not 5. It's 4.
Yeah, it was 4. They added in Phillip Rivers, Ken Stabler, I was like, wait, what?
Phillip Rivers, Ken Stabler, yes. Ken Stabler, yes.
I was like,
Phillip Rivers?
Phillip Rivers
is a stat machine. He is a stat machine, but
Phillip Rivers eventually broke down later on. Kurt Warner was 20th. Big Ben at 19th.
That's bogus. Kurt Warner at 20, that's bogus.
Yeah.
Kurt Warner should be top 15 or top 10.
Terry Bradshaw is 17th.
What? Now, if you want to talk about a quarterback that should be top 5, Terry Bradshaw. Look how many Super Bowls that guy won.
Yes.
Do you see my face right now? Okay, please, just keep on going. I want to hear it all.
All right.
D, you got some.
Steve Young. Speaking of Steve Young, he was 15th. Steve Young, 15th. Troy Aikman at 14th.
He should be in the top 10-ish.
And then Troy Aikman, you can talk about him being top 5 too. Let's talk about Troy Aikman as well.
Bart Starr 13th. Brett Favre 12th.
Wow, Brett. Okay, Brett. Yeah, okay. What's 11?
Sammy Baugh is 11.
Who?
Sammy Baugh.
Who the fuck is that?
The Redskins quarterback.
Redskins.
Who the hell is Sammy Baugh?
Sammy Baugh was a quarterback from 37 to 52 in the Redskins organization.
But he's over Steve Young and Jim Kelly and all those guys.
Yeah.
Who's the number 10? What's the top 10?
Number 10 is Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
I agree. Not with the names, but not with the names before that should have been in that 10 spot.
As a top 10 quarterback, yeah.
John Elway was number 9.
Okay, I can agree with
you. You can debate that a little bit.
Yeah. Number 8, Roger Staubach. Number 7, Dan Marino.
Okay, Dan Marino, number 7.
I think that one was fair.
6 is Drew Brees.
6 is Drew Brees. Okay. Number 5 was Otto Graham. Otto Brown.
Yeah, Graham. Yeah,
not
Graham.
Jim Otto. It was Otto Graham. I was supposed to say
Otto Graham. Yeah. Number 4 was Johnny Unitas.
Ooh,
Johnny Unitas. We forgot about Johnny Unitas.
Yeah, you can't see. That's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta
you
gotta go. See, when you do all time, you gotta look at the era of the quarterbacks that were hot.
Yes, Johnny Unitas was hot right out of the gate. I mean, look, Unitas led the Colts to back-to-back championships in his third and fourth season, and then eventually got them to Super Bowl 5. Got him to Super Bowl 5, but damn, he was a damn good quarterback.
That's why he's top 5. Johnny Unitas is top 5.
Yeah, because all pro,
Stephen A.
all
Smith
pro
was-
5 times, and he's been to the Pro Bowl 10 of the 12 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely over Drew Brees. In my, I'll put Johnny, I'll put
agree.
Unitas
I'll
over
agree with
Brees
Johnny
there.
Unitas.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I'll
then
agree with Johnny
three
Unitas.
three is
Okay.
Peyton, 3 is Peyton,
Okay.
2 is Joe Montana, and of course number 1 is Tom Brady. So
But the top 15 is all screwed. The top 15 is all screwed.
But-
Where in
I
the
will agree
hell
with the top
you have Jim
15
Kelly at 22?
yeah, that
What?
was ridiculous.
Yeah, Johnny Unitas. Oh my God, I feel. Yeah. Drew, you're still a top 5 in my thoughts, but when Johnny Unitas is kind of involved,
Johnny
Good God,
Unitas. I'm sorry.
Just
Otto,
the name.
Otto Graham. Like, my
and out of
God.
Graham.
Here's what's fun.
Oh.
Here's what's kind of funny. Because you would have wanted to talk about Tom Brady leaving 20 years of the Patriots to go to the Bucs. Look at Johnny Unitas' years of being with the Colts and then ends his season as a Charger.
True.
Yeah.
Like, good God. I can't even believe people didn't even remember that.
You notice Joe Namath wasn't on that list.
Yeah, Joe Namath wasn't even on the list.
Actually,
Joe
Joe,
Namath was
let
not
me
on that
see.
list.
Let me
He
see.
got to be 25. Joe Namath got to be 25.
I
He
would
probably
pull-
wasn't
I would
25.
pull
They probably
that
put
up.
him at 30 or something. Watch.
Oh,
I
good.
swear if he's not top 25.
Oh, my God. I totally forgot
This
about
list
Johnny
is,
Unitas.
and this is from NFL.com?
This
Yes,
list
it is.
ignorant.
Yes, it is. Joe
Okay, Tom
Namath
Brady-
isn't even on this list.
So Coach Play says, I'll put it up here, y'all.
Okay,
Coach Play
wait.
says, he says you cannot put Johnny Unitas in the top 5. It was a different time. While yes, he was ahead of the game, and his stats is misleading due to no one throwing the ball at the same time. Of course, he led the league. But you were saying all time.
Yes. It
You
was
gotta
all
say
time.
You gotta say all time. If it's top 5 in this modern era,
Look.
Drew Brees is on that list in the 21st century. Yes.
If you're going to
If you want to say modern
but in
era,
a
yes.
personal list, number 1 to me, Tom Brady. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Got to give the devil its due.
Yes.
Number 2, Joe Montana. Number 3, Peyton. Yeah, number 3, Peyton.
Yeah.
Number 4 in his spotlight can probably beat the living crap out of me for it. I'll feel it later on when I can't sleep tonight. I gotta put, if you want to put a Green Bay Packer, that's fine. But Aaron Rodgers is not on the top 5. I'm sorry, he's not. You know what? Because this is my an era. Because you know what, Brett the Hitman Favre. Yeah, won one Super Bowl, but can get you play after big play after big play. Number 5, Drew Brees. But after looking at this list, I might have to rearrange and rewatch some things when it comes to of quarterbacks of all time. Now in eras, if we talk about quarterback eras right now,
quarterbacks and eras is a different story. But we're
Let me-
saying
yeah, but
we're saying
talking about
all
eras right
time.
now.
So
Let me
all
tell-
time, that
One-
means all decades.
Let me tell you
all
this.
eras.
Yeah.
Number
Let me.
one of this era, got it. Tom Brady. 2, probably.
Oh,
Drew
by
Brees.
far.
3, probably. No, actually, not even Drew. You know what? I take that back. Drew Brees will not be number 2 on my list. Actually, even though with the stats and the break, no, take it back. Drew Brees number 2. You got to put Patrick Mahomes on this list. You got to put I don't know if you can put Lamar on this list.
No.
Patrick Mahomes is too early right now.
So yeah, Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson is way too early. If you want to talk about modern era,
Then Aaron Rodgers is on that list. Top 5. Green Bay Packers
absolutely.
fans can touch themselves at night.
absolutely,
But you
because
gotta-
I would
but-
think
I want to answer this from Coach Plays though. You got to think about it. He couldn't do what they couldn't do right now. In the way you say you saw it as a different time. Then you got to think about what Johnny Unitas played. Johnny Unitas played when NFL was just as physical and less padding. You got to think about the era of Johnny Unitas played. He played where a clothesline was considered a tackle. It was more physical. It was way more physical back in the day than it is today. In today's league, they cater to the quarterback. If you put a finger on the quarterback, it's a flag.
Yeah.
The quarterbacks got it so easy now in this league. They got it so easy right now.
Yeah.
And way
That's
Johnny
not
United's
really
play when there was an era where quarterbacks was allowed to get hit and hit hard without a flag being thrown. You gotta get. And he made the 10 Pro Bowls out of the 12 seasons that he played. You can't tell me nothing about that. I'm just debating with you because you know I love you, Coach Plays. I love you to death. You're my brother. I love you. I just love the debate.
He does.
I just love the debate. But there's no way that
he's debating with his little brother when it came to my top 5 when I put Drew Brees on there. You know, and just like earlier with the whole Trubisky and Kirk Cousins thing. Always got a debate. That's why I love
here's the thing. This is where I think on the ongoing debate is why it's keeping Drew Brees from being a number 5. Because he's got to win that second Super Bowl. If he wins that second Super Bowl, then end of story. I would think he's 5 because at least he passes Aaron Rodgers, and he would pass. And he would pass Brett Favre. To be honest,
and also
they call me Coach Players call me Stephen A. Smith, y'all.
And also, guys, agreed to disagree with this. If Drew Brees didn't make it to the Super Bowl this year, there's only one quarterback I want him to face: Tom Brady.
Yeah,
because I want.
Well, you're gonna have that chance this year because they played twice.
Here's the thing: they got.
I know, but at the same time, I want Drew Brees to literally say in his retirement speech, because also Russell Wilson can say it too.
Yeah,
he could have said it, but no.
But why you think? But think about it, Gooley.
Super Bowl and beat Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
But this is where also
somebody to
but here's what's kind of interesting because very easily Russell Wilson could be right there in the top 10. The reason why that he's not is because of that Super Bowl loss to New England.
Yeah,
that Super Bowl loss to New England was what kept him from being top 10.
And if he would have did it, you know what? I would have put, Russell as a top 10. And also Russell can say something that no other quarterback could have not said. But him and Drew Brees are the only two who could say it. Hey, I've been to the Super Bowl. And hey, I defeated Peyton Manning and Tom Brady.
So my thing is this though. Y'all might not agree. Y'all might would agree with me there though. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the other Manning that beat Tom Brady twice.
Oh,
yeah, Eli Manning.
Let's talk about it. If we want to go off of just if we want to just go off of beating Tom Brady, ain't nobody beat Tom Brady twice but Eli Manning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ain't no other quarterback do it.
Eli.
Nobody.
Eli.
If people say that, and Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman always say that Eli Manning is not a Hall of Famer. Yes, the hell he is.
Wait a minute. Rewind yourself. Who said that?
Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman think that Eli Manning is not a Hall of Fame quarterback.
No. I'm sorry. Pretend this is Stephen A. and pretend this is Max. No. See, this is why I cannot take First Take seriously. I can't take it seriously.
I can't take Undisputed seriously because of Skip Bayless.
Good God, I can't take Speak for Yourself seriously with Jason Whitlock.
Dude, the only show on ESPN I can take seriously is either not even Around the Horn. Is it Around the Horn? The Horn.
Hold up, The Jump is really good too. That's an NBA show, but I do like the
Jump too.
The one I take seriously, honestly, is The Herd. I hate saying that, but I do. There may be some things that Colin Cowherd will say that's kind of ridiculous and may go over the top. Which, by the way, I'll play a little skid by the end of this, but still, I love his fact.
The only shows I can take is Around the Horn. I can take them seriously. I can take PTI seriously. But
I just don't understand how people forget. Don't get me wrong. Eli Manning had rough years in New York. He had rough years, but he brought them 2 relevant Super Bowls.
And he also stopped 18-0 17-1. And also, the catch. I'm about to reenact it. Failed. The catch. The catch.
But the thing about it is, people could talk about the catch, but look what Eli Manning did to throw that football.
God.
How many tackles that he broke to throw that football?
That Tyree throw. That Tyree throw.
Got to Tom Brady.
That Manning hand throw.
The Tyree throw, and then right after the Tyree throw, it was the Plaxico Burress catch in the end zone. It was back-to-back throws.
But here's the thing. I think what's kind of the heated debate about Eli Manning is none of us are going to remember him as a seasonal quarterback. None of us. None of us are going to remember him as a seasonal quarterback. He's either going to be the two-time Super Bowl quarterback or he's going to be the quarterback who made the throw. That throw to David Tyree or that throw to Mario Manningham, those are probably going to be the only two iconic plays that I think people are going to mention multiple times.
But pull up Eli's stats as a career, though. Like, I think his passing yards shouldn't be that bad. Only reason why Eli Manning don't get the recognition because of the other names that's in the league, like a Drew Brees and an Aaron Rodgers and a Phillip Rivers of the world.
Okay,
just think about it. Just think about it. Imagine if that trade never happened, Jake.
So
Eli would have been a Charger.
Oh my God, I know. Well,
actually,
at the same time,
fans have two things to worry about. I mean,
well, here's the thing, though, is that over time. Well, it's not even just that. I'll explain that in a second. I'll actually have a separate segment for that. But Eli Manning, he has 57,000 passing yards. Touchdown interception is about 366 to 244, and his passer rating is about 84. So that almost makes it sound like he's about 60, if not lower than 60% completion. If that's a passer rating of 84 career.
But if you think about it, outside of Odell Beckham, he went to the Super Bowl with a old Plaxico Burress that was almost at the end of his career.
Don't even forget Steve Smith. Not the Steve Smith, but the other one.
Yeah, the other Steve Smith that never lived up to the hype.
Yeah.
And then you had a David Tyree that you didn't see the David Tyree after the catch.
Yeah, and not to mention too, you had Victor Cruz.
Yeah, Victor Cruz and Michael Strahan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not only just Michael Strahan, O.C. Umenyiora, Jason Pierre-Paul, Justin Tuck, like
he had a good defense too.
This is why I told you too, Darian, like for this year's draft, I swear that if the Redskins whip that there is a defense I want no part of in the East. I want no part of it in the East. If the Giants get either Isaiah Simmons or
Chase Young,
dear God.
Right.
I'm telling you.
I agree.
Their defense.
But here's what I will explain as a longtime Charger fan. Funny thing of it is, if Dan Fouts if he got his championship, he would have been top 15, top 10. I'm being totally honest. That Air Coryell years was ridiculous. Charlie Joyner, Kellen Winslow Sr., if that Winslow injury never happened, they had a defense, they had an offensive line, that team was ready to win a championship. That team was so ready to win a championship. But unfortunately, the football gods.
Yeah.
Football gods always do this all the time. But it's the same sake of argument that you would say about Eli or Drew or Phillip Rivers or even Drew Brees. Because then the Spanos family is known to not overspend. They're known to not overspend. They spend money like Jews. I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but I'm telling you, you know what I mean by money good. when you're conserving money, that's what I
Maybe
mean.
he's owner like that.
But the thing of it is, with oh god, here you go busting out that damn Amari Cooper.
No, I had it. No, I actually had it on under the hoodie, but I got hot.
All right. So in that case, Dane Spanos did not fix that offensive line for years. My question was, why did Marty Schottenheimer get fired after a 14-2 season? What the hell was that all about?
I was
pissed. That was ridiculous.
I was pissed.
Like, here was the thing. People want to say, oh, Tom Brady broke up the Chargers. I don't think Tom Brady had to deal with that.
Tom Brady broke up every team in the AFC.
Yes, but here was the here was the thing.
I wouldn't say the Colts. No.
The Colts had their own problems to worry about.
Yeah, but if you look at the past for Tom Brady, Peyton Manning could never beat Tom Brady.
He couldn't.
He could never beat Tom Brady. No matter if it was at home, no matter if it was in New England. Them and the Pittsburgh Steelers, they could never beat Tom Brady.
Phillip Rivers couldn't even beat Tom Brady, and I already know this. Well, good God, he couldn't even beat Big Ben in either of those playoffs.
The only team that could beat the Patriots, believe it or not, number one, maybe you can say number two, the Giants. Number one, Miami.
Yo, for some reason, Miami has really been the kryptonite for New England.
For real,
no matter if they went 0-16 or 0-15, that one game.
It amazes me that Tom Brady literally went to Florida. Tom, are you not used to the warm weather?
I just found this out when Tom Brady left the East.
He went to Florida.
Yes, but the Buffalo Bills, you know what Tom's record was against Buffalo? 23-3.
Jesus.
Buffalo is time. It is their time to finally win the East after that. Good God.
It's going to be out of the Jets and the Bills that's going to try to win that division now.
I think it's going to be the Bills because, look, the Jets, I love Sam Darnold, but I don't know what the hell the Jets front office is doing.
You see what they did in free agency? They really addressed their offensive line in free agency, and they went out and got some key additions to their offensive line. Hopefully, their offensive line can stay up.
Yeah,
you
because
better make some adjustment in your offensive line if you got Bell back there.
But
here's
the problem is Robbie Anderson is gone.
Yeah, but yes, that is going to be an issue. But then again, that's where the Jets have to address the issue during the draft. But here's the thing: at least
from the Colts,
I think they did.
Yeah, they got 2 first-round picks.
So
they got to go get a receiver.
At least they got a line. Because I am sick and tired of watching Sam Darnold run for his life, and he has no time in the pocket to throw. And Sam Darnold's not a terrible quarterback.
Well,
he's not a terrible quarterback.
All I gotta say is
when Sam Darnold's run, Donald Duck finally speaks perfect English.
The Jets pre-mono, like during that time was bad. Post-mono, good God, Sam Darnold was great.
Because post-mono, I have to say, me going to the Jets game in the rain and the cold, that offensive line blocked for Sam Darnold. I'm sorry.
Yes,
I left the game in the fourth quarter. How he was getting spanked in the rain, in the cold. That day, and Mark Gooley saw me on Snapchat talking about Raider Nation, doing all these videos, and before you know it, we get spanked.
I was like, Spotlight, you're gonna respond? At least try to say something about the game.
You see, I was quiet for like 4 days. I didn't say nothing in the chat. I said nothing in our group chat for 4 straight days.
I was like,
because that Jets game was winnable. It was a winnable
that game was
game.
Winnable. And it cost you guys.
So here was a real quick thing that I found out from the herd. And since we're talking of young quarterbacks coming into the league in the draft, a lot of this is spiraling around the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow.
Oh,
Lord. I've been hearing this from. If you really thought, here's what's funny: if you really thought Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman was bad, listen to the comments, or at least the analysis they got on Joe Burrow from Colin Cowherd. This is how he explained it. This made me die laughing.
Anonymous NFL scout. He said Joe Burrow, LSU quarterback. The interesting thing about him, when you look at his face, he reminds me of Peyton. You look into his eyes. You look deep into his eyes and you see the determination. Oh, really? That's funny because I see pupils. Apparently now a scout says you look at Joe Burrow's eyes and you see Peyton Manning. Okie dokie. Yesterday, Joel Klatt looked at Joe Montana's feet and said he's Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow reminds me of Joe Montana. When Joe Montana played the game, he played with a smoothness in his feet and a surgical approach, mentally attacking the defense that at that point was beyond reproach. He had no peer at that point in the way that he played. Burrow is similar to that. He's so smooth. The basketball background, the absolute competitive nature that you see when he gets hit and bounces back, the surgical nature in which he sees the weaknesses in the structure of the defense, and then he goes out and attacks them. I love Joe Burrow, man.
Yeah. The eyes, his eyes. I look at his eyes and I see Brady. And I look at his eyes and I see Peyton Manning and Joe Montana. Okay, Brady, Peyton Manning, and Joe Montana. Those are the comps. Because I look into his eyes and I see imagery. Oh, it's Peyton Manning. It could be Cooper Manning. You can't tell the difference. You got to be kidding me.
Why did he just sound like Macho
You guys
Man?
are now all optometrists. All right. Junior year at LSU. Peyton Manning, my bad, Joe Burrow, 16 touchdowns, 13 games. He threw 2 against Rice, 2 against Southeast Louisiana, and 4 against UFC. Bama didn't have one. Georgia didn't have one. Florida didn't have one. 8 touchdown passes against the SEC with all those same players. By the way, Peyton Manning came into the league, inherited a Hall of Fame GM, Bill Polian, by his second coach, Tony Dungy, had a Hall of Fame coach. Montana inherited Bill Walsh. Maybe you've heard of him. Brady inherited Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft. Joe Burrow is inheriting the cheapest owner. They don't have a GM, and Zach Taylor. Could be good, no idea.
Yeah.
You don't think that's going to matter?
Fact.
I like Joe Burrow. He's a B-plus prospect. He's a really good kid. He is a franchise quarterback. It's like I always said about Baker. He's a franchise quarterback. He's not number 1.
He's a B-plus
He's not a guy I would
player.
draft, but he's a franchise quarterback. Burrow's a way better prospect than Baker Mayfield. But he's not Elway. He's not Trevor Lawrence next year. He's not Andrew Luck. He can't overcome that. And the other thing is, never forget this. When Peyton Manning came in the league with a Hall of Fame GM and a soon-to-be Hall of Fame coach, Tony Dungy, he came into the AFC East South. I think it was the AFC South now but at the end, but it was AFC East, I think. It was mostly dysfunctional. Brady inherited the AFC East. As Joy knows, that's completely dysfunctional. Joe Montana in the 80s had the New Orleans Aints, that's what they were called, the goofy Atlanta Falcons, and the hit-and-miss Rams. Joe Burrow is inheriting, in my opinion, the best roster in the NFL now in post-free agency in Baltimore. Loaded. Pittsburgh gets Big Ben back, and I think outside of San Francisco, they have the best young defensive front in the NFL, Pittsburgh. And I may trash Cleveland. But once they draft a tackle and a linebacker, they'll have a top 6 roster in the league. I'm dead serious. I may bang on them all the time. Once they get left tackle solved, and once they get another linebacker, Cleveland is stacked. I don't know if Stefanski can
And
coach,
the most
but their
disappointing
roster's
team
great.
in the league.
Receivers, backs,
Wait.
tight ends, pass rushers,
What is wrong
corners.
with this clown?
Cleveland stacked. They need a linebacker, a left tackle, probably somebody else in the back end.
Please.
That division is the opposite. You got Pittsburgh's never terrible. Tomlin's never had a sub-500 season. Baltimore is rarely bad. So you're talking about Joe Burrow's going to inherit a below-average owner, a suboptimal head coach in a brutally good division with two of the best ownership groups in the NFL, Baltimore and the Rooney family. Is anybody considering, again, we know this to be true, where you land matters.
No, it
This
doesn't.
Joe Burrow stuff is people look in his eyes and they see Peyton Manning. You know what? I'm going to look into his eyes in October, and you know what I'm going to see with Joe Burrow? Fear. Get me the hell out of here. He's going to be facing the Ravens and the Steelers and the Browns pass rushes, which will be 3 of the top 5 in the league. You're not going to see Peyton Manning. And if you look at his eyes and see Peyton Manning, it'll be Peyton Manning running for his life from the Ravens pass rush. Oh, my Lord.
This guy, that's why his name is Coward. That's why his name is Coward, because you went off of Joe Burrow's junior year. Have you ever heard of the word development? My God. Have you ever heard of the word improvement?
Yeah.
Can I?
No.
Dude.
No, let me go.
I lost brain cells.
B+ player? And you think Trevor Lawrence is going to be better than Joe Burrow? When Trevor Lawrence couldn't even beat Joe Burrow this year? What?
He thinks highly of Tua.
I understand why you think highly of Tua, because what he did in Alabama. I could completely understand it, even with the hip injury. But we're talking about a Joe Burrow that had one of the best college seasons as a quarterback, probably damn near ever in college football. Like, I understand he's going to a bad squad, but he said the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah.
There's no way being back to being dominant. Oh, Ben Roethlisberger's coming back. Ben Roethlisberger looked like a goddamn burger. He looked like Forrest Gump, like he haven't shaved in like 20 years. I just kept running. But no, you ain't run nothing because you've been injured. So Pittsburgh, that's out. The Ravens, cool, but the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, the Cleveland Browns.
He talked highly of the most underrated, less dominant, the most talked about in offseason team in the league that didn't accomplish a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
They are one offensive alignment away. Wish they addressed that in free agency. They're one safety away. Wish they addressed that in free agency with Carl Joseph. If they...
And that's what's kind of interesting about that. Because, finally Cleveland got it with their offensive line. They finally understood it. Like, once you made that trade for Olivier Vernon last year, that was something that was not even needed.
But when they got Copeland, though, when they end up getting Copeland from Tennessee, that was a big move.
Yeah.
My God, what a B+ player. You telling me that Tua is better than Joe Burrow and we talking right now? Just because Tua came in and Saban benched Jalen Hurts, if you gotta look at that game, the Georgia Bulldogs wasn't preparing that national title game for Tua. They was not prepared. They were preparing for Alabama and Jalen Hurts. Mm-hmm. Also, Saban seen, we're losing, so I'm going to just throw the Bulldogs up and put in Tua in the second half. Mm-hmm. The Bulldogs didn't prepare for that.
Yeah.
I need to go on his show. I need to tweet him. I need to go on your show and debate with you because you give me gray hair. What the hell are you seeing?
Hey, feel free to tweet at him.
As a 9, as a 10, as 11, as a 12. He's worse than Skip Bayless. I am done.
Okay, I'm gonna say this about Cullen. Cullen actually watched SpongeBob. I think you watched SpongeBob SquarePants because I think he stole the orb of confusion, and this is basically my reaction to that whole vid, Snake.
We still have the orb of confusion. Take this.
That's how I feel. Duh, doy, dad, doy. Ugh.
I will say, like, he does make a point of as far as where you land does matter because the fact, yes, he's going to an organization that's
That is run by a cheap
dysfunctional.
ass owner.
Yes, it's ran by a cheap owner. They got no general manager right there.
They don't.
We
And
have to think though. Peyton Manning went into that situation with the Colts.
so did Andrew Luck.
That's what I'm saying. He went to like they say, you go to a bad team and you change that. You could change a franchise around, and that's what Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck did. It's possible.
Like, here's what's funny here. Look at Jacksonville after all these years.
Yeah.
Oh God, Jacksonville done like they hadn't even won nothing. Byron Leftwich was literally like their savior of that franchise. It wasn't David Garrard. It wasn't even like it wasn't even Blake Bortles. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. And then another franchise, the Detroit Lions.
And he gets paid millions or thousands to talk the stupid stuff like that. I need to be somebody need to give me a job with ESPN or FS1 or something.
No, I cannot work for ESPN. I'll get canceled.
Listen, I would work for ESPN to put these analysts in their place as a passion. Put me on as an intern. Don't pay me.
Yeah.
Don't pay me a dime. I will show you how much of a passion that I have to put these cats on FS1, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN Deportes, ESPN3, ESPN Soccer, NFL Network, NBA TV. Put me on these for free. And I'm calling it now. For free. Call Colin, Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman. I don't care. Dude, I really want First Take to do their show again that's called First Take Your Take, where they have fans come in and debate with Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith. Shout out to Luca Rosano, because he was able to get on that show, and his channel blew up after that. But shout out to Luca Rosano with debating Toronto Raptors with Stephen A. Smith on live television. And I'm ready to have Stephen A. Smith #1 versus Stephen A. Smith 2.0. Let's go.
Absolutely.
I'm ready.
Hell yeah.
Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble. No, there's only one person I would love to debate with. So much on ESPN.
Give me Shannon Sharp as well, Undisputed. Give me Shannon Sharp.
Oh, no. The one person I would love to debate on ESPN, because, my God, even though Stephen A. Smith is one of them, because, oh, my God, his hatred for the city, like, his hatred for just, actually, his fetish with LeBron James sickens me. So your fetish for LeBron sickens me. I'm sorry. And for you to call KD a coward, okay, yeah, you can call KD a coward for what he did, but at the same time, I didn't see you do the same when LeBron did almost damn near the same thing that started this crap in the first place. This super team nonsense. Another person I would do is Woody Page from Around the Horn.
Woody's pretty good.
Woody Page, he be on it. Michael Wilbon is another person I would get on. Even though he is a Chicago analyst, but he be saying some of the most craziest shit. So I'd be like, "Are you sure you're from Chicago? Because my backhand says otherwise."
Oh my God, what a show that we had today, man. What a show that we had.
And I learned something today. Colin Cowherd does not know anything about sports or athletics. He's Vince Russo of ESPN.
What I've learned today, Colin Cowherd is smoking crack, meth, heroin, weed,
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
K2. I don't know. He's drinking Four Locos.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I don't know.
Don Julio.
I don't know what he's doing, man. That, you know.
Hey, Gooley.
Yeah.
He makes me want to take this microphone off and just smack him with my microphone.
Wait a minute. What did Damien just try to say?
Hey, Gooley, funny to mention WWE calls. I want to know what the hell is a boneyard match.
What the hell is a boneyard match? Wait a minute. Boneyard. This got Undertaker versus AJ, doesn't it? It's Undertaker versus AJ, isn't it? I bet you it was Undertaker versus AJ. Damien Estrada answer. How much you guys want to bet it's Undertaker versus AJ? Because
The hell is a boneyard match?
Undertaker.
The heck is a boneyard match, man?
I swear, if it's a casket match, really, we're that damn to the point. We're that damn PG. We can't say casket.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, so Derek, it's funny you actually you mentioned take
Goalie! Sit your behind there. I didn't even know you was barefooted, bro, but okay.
Done. No, because I told you I lost some brain cells when Colin said what he said.
That's the Colin effect.
A boneyard
That is the
match.
Colin effect. I don't know what the hell is a boneyard match.
He's getting rushed. He's getting rushed by the herd. Apparently, like he's getting. But Darian, it was actually pretty awesome that you brought up the question I mentioned with you and Luca with the with WrestleMania, because the reason I asked that question was because obviously we've seen what the UFC had done in their previous match with no fans, which of course you think of the fighters, the trainers, the staffs, like sometimes there are parts of risk that's at hand, but I mean, if they were literally trying to compete with what the UFC just did, then God, that would be flowing off the charts. Imagine
It's
that.
not gonna work. Vince
I didn't
needs to
even see
postpone
it.
The show.
He does. He
Orlando's already in shutdown mode. So
They
Tampa
start.
Bay
They
is
go
not
and shut. They go
behind.
and shut down Thursday tomorrow morning.
Yep.
To be exact.
So Tampa Bay is not too far behind.
So right now, if you, according to JD from NY206, if you do not know that guy, he's a great wrestling podcaster, but he tells you like it is. So according to his sources that he was reading off of on the podcast, that WWE was recording WrestleMania today and tomorrow, and recording the WrestleMania after Raw tomorrow.
Oh my! Oh, I hate Vince so much.
So as of right now, WrestleMania will not be live; it will be recorded.
I think the herd pretty much knocked him out of that one.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Gula. I had to give you that information, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but JD from NY gave me the source first. Y'all don't know if you saw the video in the group chat, but
I need a freaking drink.
and I heard Cena versus Wyatt might be in a house like a horrors match.
House of Horror, didn't you not learn your fucking lessons from Randy Orton? And Wyatt, that was stupid. If you want a House of Horrors,
Iris and Vlogs, you is ticking off Mount Gooley right now.
because I'm losing brain cells. My brain is about to be fried. I just got done with a 10-hour shift. I'm so glad I watched Car Wash instead of Raw when I got off. Oh my God, dude! Now Indiana shut down, except if you're in sensational area like I am. So I still have a job. Yeah.
Hey, we're all shut down. Hey, I'm like, I've still got myself a job,
My
but
fucking brain hurts.
dear God, you know what's the one sport that's going to keep going on? Fucking NASCAR. That's the only sport that's going to keep on going on.
And Iris and Vlog says WWE is officially free right now. And Mao Gooley, there are rumors that Brock Wright might retain.
Are y'all trying to put me in the hospital? Actually, no. I ain't heard a rumor about Brock retaining, but I did hear that Brock, since he lives in Canada. So yeah, I heard WWE Network is free.
I don't
but
understand
also
how it's
heard
free.
that
No. Stop right there.
It's free for new subscribers.
That's bull crap. Because if it's free right now for just because of this whole coronavirus thing, stop trying to take $10.79 on my account, WWE. No, I don't have that in my account at this moment. So with that being said, let it be the hell free.
Also, I'm gonna say this too. Brock, the reason why if Brock retains, somebody's getting slapped. But anyway, the real reason I heard that Brock Lesnar might not even make it to WrestleMania because Canada might be shut because the borders is shut down. Brock lives in Canada. He doesn't live in Minnesota. He lives in Canada. And Brock is so shameful to let the announcers know that he's not from Canada. Think about it. Paul Heyman does not say where Brock is from. Brock is not from Minneapolis. He's from Canada. What part of Canada? God only knows. Maybe fuck sheep Canada, but who knows?
But
You guys
this is officially done, y'all. This is officially
I'm done. I swear, if I get another,
this was a fun show. This is why I want to do this every single Wednesday. Because I mean, sometimes we can be serious about certain stuff, but at the same time, we can have fun and make it lit as it is. Because Mount Gully, you just took it.
Because Colin made me lose 5 brain cells, and I don't even smoke.
But you know what's kind of funny though? I give props to you, Malguli, because literally in a time of what us, like we the people as a nation are going through right now. Look, they're already losing brain cells enough as it is. And so you might as well fill it up with some sort of humor and laugh or something like that.
Yes,
we're going live for the wrestling show.
But the wrestling show will just be
Canadian Stampede.
Yes, I'm gonna try to watch it tonight if I don't get on Madden and start cursing people out on Twitch. If y'all don't follow me on Twitch, please follow me on Twitch because I be cursing people out on Twitch. I really do. I'll be cursing them out. So Twitch is Spotlight Gaming 36. So it's Twitch.
Also, gang, question. Also, thing I'm gonna let y'all know. Please listen to the latest episode of the Ghoulie Zone podcast. I reviewed Bad Blood 2003. And after going back to that pay-per-view, it was really just like an episode of Raw, if you really think about it.
I'm gonna go back and
how
watch
Raw
it.
was in early 2003.
But just to let y'all know, the wrestling podcast will be on Ghoulie's channel only because I do want to grow Ghoulie's channel, and hopefully me and Jake could do a show. I want to, you know what? I want to start going live every day instead of 3 times a week. So if we could do like the Jake and Spot show, we could do that.
Oh yeah, I'm down.
Ghoulie, we have our wrestling show on Thursdays because I know every day you're not gonna be able to do it. We still have the Spotlight Sports Talk episodes on Wednesdays, but probably Monday and Tuesday. You're already gonna be on for Wednesday, Jake. So that's not a problem.
Yeah.
Thursday that's me and Mount Ghoulie. That's gonna be on Mount Ghoulie's channel. But what we could do, Jake, is that we could flip flop.
Yeah.
We could do
I'm
my
down.
channel and we could do your channel.
Absolutely, yeah. I would love to do get more views up on my channel and stuff like that. Because as you've already kind of known, because I do appreciate you too, like because you're actually one of the first people that I've introduced as a phone call into my podcast, and I have not seen the reviews yet of like, because I'm telling you, if local listeners out here that have subscribed and have listened, they probably do love somebody who loves like the Raiders insider who gives him the analysis and players in look. So that was huge. That was huge.
You might want to hear this, bruh.
What's up?
The Raiders could look to target quarterback Jalen Hurts in later rounds of the draft, despite
If you have not watched my mock draft for the Raiders, I have him there.
You have him there?
I have Jalen Hurts there, but I don't see that happening just because of we signed Marcus Mariota.
Mm-hmm.
Irish and Vlogs, I'm giving you his link right now to the Snake Sports Talk show. That is the link, so please go subscribe to his channel because we are going to flip-flop. The more you go live and the more we put videos out, the better it is, Jake. But I have that, and I think I had him going like the 81st overall pick in the 3rd round for Jalen Hurts. But when you listen to the show, I kind of disagree with it, knowing that what's the point of getting Jalen Hurts if we already have? I understand people don't like this guy. I don't like this guy either. But we got Nathan Peterman. I don't know why the hell we got him, but that's
Nathan Peterman.
Yeah, he's better than
Sorry.
Chase. He's better than Chase Daniel.
Oh, we don't have Chase Daniels no more.
But you
We don't have
did.
him no more.
But you did.
Yeah, but we.
But you did.
Wait. Here, okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I am so sorry about that. I got to disagree with you. At least Chase Daniels won games. Need I remind you that Peterman threw 4 interceptions against the Bears?
Yeah, but it wasn't against. It wasn't with the Raiders though. It wasn't with the Raiders though.
Just stop. Just
It
stop.
wasn't with the Raiders though.
You have Peter Neem.
Yeah, but he's the third string. So right now, knowing that we have Peterman,
That's still terrible.
Marcus Mariota, and Derek Carr is better than both of your starting and your backup. Let's talk about it.
Wait a minute.
Marcus Mariota is better than Trubisky, and so is Derek Carr. So let's just talk about it.
At least Nick Foles has a Super Bowl ring.
But it ain't with the Bears. It ain't with the Bears. The Bears haven't had a Super Bowl. The Bears haven't had a Super Bowl since I was 2 years old, bro.
To be honest, though, Chase Daniels even had a Super Bowl.
Hold on. Matter of fact, I wasn't even born. I'm not my bad. It was in 85. I wasn't even born in 85.
You were thought of in 85. Neither was I, for Christ's sakes. I was.
So with that being said,
oh God, David describes that Mariota is trash.
he's better than Mitchell Trubisky. I can say this about I can say this. Trubisky didn't win a playoff game, but Mariota did. You must have forgot. Y'all must have forgot when he beat Kansas City in Kansas City. Y'all must have forgot that.
Oh,
Right?
yeah, he did because they went full read.
Okay,
But also, I'm in this too, bro. I'm in this too. How does it feel that the Chiefs won a championship?
You asking me that?
Yes, as a division rival.
I hate it.
So do I.
I hate it too. I can't stand it.
I know you guys hate that.
You will not believe. Okay, here's what's kind of funny about this, because the first week the Chargers faced the Chiefs. I was at one. I was at a what was it? God. I was at one of the bars. I was literally at one of the bars, and I was watching the game with buddies of mine, and I turned, I said, who the hell is this quarterback? Like, what kind of shit is going on here? Like, he's dropping dimes, and Tyreek Hill, God, I was getting pissed off with Tyreek Hill getting open. That was one guy. I was like, where the hell are the secondaries covering him? So fast forward, I'm at a PT's one night, and it was a Thursday night game, Chiefs Chargers in Arrowhead, and the game itself was tight. The game was so tight. Lots of people thought Kansas City was going to win, like straight up. I'm not going to deny it. I thought they were too, but the second you had the fourth quarter and the Chargers score, I literally lost my shit, like jumping around, running around the whole bar. But then I came back to my table and I turned around and somebody said, okay, now the Chargers got to kick a field goal. I said, what? You're 2 points away. The hell are you kicking a field goal for? We're not here to tie it. We're here to win this shit. So, and here's what's funny, because
typical Chargers shit.
But here's what's funny. A buddy of mine is a Philly fan, diehard Philly, and he knew it too. Like, so the second they went for a 2-point conversion and Mike Williams was open, I damn near just ran around the whole. I did a whole like 5 laps around the damn bar because I was like, finally, we embarrassed them on their home turf. I was so freaking excited. Oh God!
I'm gonna say this right now. For next season, when the Bears finally beat Green Bay, and I mean in Green Bay legitly, oh my God, that's gonna feel like Super Bowl for me. Like, yes, the Bears have won the freaking Super Bowl. Because I hate Green Bay. Thank God nobody in our group is a Green Bay fan.
That's just Green Bay. That's just Green Bay needing to look more thoroughly at Aaron Rodgers.
God.
Like I said, this
If
happened
they don't
with
get a
Brett
quarterback
Favre.
in this draft, I will laugh. And if Aaron Rodgers, something happens to him, like he gets hurt, I'm gonna be looking at Green Bay saying this: 2018 all over again, isn't it? You said you have a defense. Oh, you do? Well, where is it? See, that's why Green Bay fans they just love to talk so much crap about their success, but really can deny past failures. They're like the Steelers.
Oh God.
They never talk about the team's, never shut up about the team's success, but immediately forget about failures.
I can't even believe to tell you, like when the Chargers beat the Steelers 2 years ago in that freaking 3 tries for a field goal.
And I'm so mad because the Bears picked up Artie Burns, and I just really wanted to smack the McCaskey family.
I sent my uncle and a good friend of mine a bag, it was a meme post, and it was a bag of Lay's chips, and it was literally a bag of Pittsburgh Steelers tears, extra salty. I was like, "Yep, all you Steelers fans deserve that," because it's like, what the hell was going on in that game? Oh God,
Damian Estrada, I'm sorry. I rather had Nick Foles than Cam. I'm sorry.
Oh God! Look,
We already
Carson
talked about
Wentz is
Cam.
the future. It's not Nick Foles. He already had his chance.
Bears
And
need to
by the
draft
way,
a damn
Philly.
kicker.
But
Eddie
here's
Perino was all right. Eddie Perino was way better than freaking way better than Cody Parkey. Way better. No, the Bears should have never got rid of freaking Robbie Gould.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, y'all. So we're going to talk off air how the schedule is going to go for starting next week. But I want to thank y'all, man. We've been on for 3 hours. We always do these long ass podcasts, man. But they be so fun that you don't want to end them, you know. And I know, Gully, you got to work tomorrow. I don't know what time you got to be to work tomorrow, but I know you're not too. I know both of y'all probably got to work tomorrow, don't you?
I am off tomorrow.
I gotta work.
Oh, you're off tomorrow?
But I am getting some sleep because I'm tired as hell.
But what time you want to? I know you probably don't want to do the wrestling show late. So what time do you want to do the wrestling show?
Wrestling show. 6 o'clock would be cool.
All right, so we
6
could
or
do
7.
6 o'clock. Yeah, we could do 6
And
o'clock.
also Perino double doing twice. Are you kidding me? What? Okay, I'm not even gonna start. Because it's
see
too
y'all
late
on the
now.
mall. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we definitely going to do the spot in Snake Sports Talk. So we definitely going to try to do that most of the days of the week. Mind you, Wednesdays is Spotlight Sports Talk podcast episode 10. Well, actually, Monday is going to be episode 10, and Wednesday is going to be episode 11. So
And Thursday is going to be.
Thursday is going to be the wrestling podcast, and then I don't know. I'm really thinking about what we should do for Friday. I'm thinking about doing a Raiders live hangout, but I already do that. No, I actually do the Raiders call-in show on Sundays. Mm-hmm. So we'll figure it out. Once we get off the air, we'll definitely talk about it, y'all. But thank y'all for tuning in. Comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully the advertisers would take my monetization off of limited because of what the stuff that we was talking about today. It went from being on to being limited because they wanted to see if it's suitable for advertisers. Yeah. But thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all later, and we'll have that schedule out, that streaming schedule out for you next week. So we out of here, y'all. Peace.